views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is June the 5th, 2025. And if you want to listen to the show live, all you have to do is find us on YouTube at Talk Real Solutions. And then if you want to participate in the show, all you have to do is call the number at 1717-908-1834, and I will open your mic and allow you to speak whatever your heart desires. I did pay attention somewhat to what's going on in the news right now with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. You know, I normally say I don't be paying attention, but I think it was yesterday or sometime this week. I don't remember when it was, either yesterday or the day before, when they started going back and forth. And I said, you know, this might be interesting, with Elon Musk and Donald Trump going back and forth. What's up, East Coast? And it's turning out to be pretty damn interesting, and it's so complicated that there's so much involved, especially when it comes to people who was following Elon Musk and supporting Elon Musk, and him and Donald Trump was tag team buddies, and they was going to fix the country, and they was going to create this new government organization to weed out fraud, waste, and abuse, and save trillions of dollars, and hand out $5,000 $5,000 checks to the taxpayers. I believe Howard called me one time with that shit, with the $5,000 check, and Howard's on the line. Why you calling to the goddamn host number? That's what I want to know. Brother, I done told you not to do that. But everybody had hopes in Elon Musk and Donald Trump tag teaming and fixing the country. Now, I never believed that shit.
Hey, Ty, my bad. Can you hear me, Ty? My bad, brother. I forgot, brother. I apologize.
Okay, all that's unnecessary. Just do the right thing, nigga. What I'm saying is that I never believed that Elon, and nobody here, the majority of people here, believe that Donald Trump or Elon Musk had a plan to do anything right by this country. I can tell you with all my damn heart and soul that I know that these two men are full of shit. I know from his first. See, I didn't really pay attention to Donald Trump before he got elected the first time. I didn't know nothing about him that much. All I knew was Trump. He was rich. Some rappers rapped about him, and people inspired to be him. That's, was the persona or the image that was out there about Donald Trump. But after he got elected, of course, for the first time, I knew that he was full of shit, especially when he was sending people, well, in his rallies was beating up black people, having his audience just talk down and be racist, denying that David Duke existed. And his first election, he was talking about Barack Obama's birth certificate and all of this kind of stuff. I knew he was a racist. And a lot of people here still say that Donald Trump is not a racist. I don't see how they say that. Donald Trump is a fucking straight up racist. I don't know how else to put that. But they say he's not a racist and he knows better. He's just using white people for whatever means. No. Once you go down that road and supporting the narrative that hate my motherfucking people, I don't give a fuck if it's for a split second, you are a goddamn racist. If you don't acknowledge the suffering of what my people went through in this damn country, if you don't at least, because you have the power, try to amend some of the things that you're a fucking racist. If you deny the fact that black people are struggling in this damn country, if you follow the stereotypical insults towards my community, you are a racist, and I don't give a shit if it don't look like you're a racist, or you used to be a Democrat, or you turned into a racist. So I don't give it when people give Donald Trump a pass and say, hey, he's not really believe that. No. He believed it. But that's that's another conversation for another day. But I never believed whenever he got elected this second time, and I think, in my own opinion, that somehow or another him and Elon Musk manipulated the damn numbers in the outcome of this election. Now, there's no proof or whatever, but things just wasn't right in this last election. But, Democrats, they're not going to fucking do like the Republicans did, make up a goddamn lie or make it bigger. And because I'm pretty sure they have proof. If you look at all of these districts and where all of these people discounted votes and threw out ballots and all this kind of bullshit, I guarantee you there's proof. When you look at the gerrymandering, and the decisions in some of these courthouses that discounted votes, I mean, there's proof that these motherfuckers manipulated the damn numbers. But that's just me saying what I think in the back of my head. So I don't think he won the election. That's just me. But he's the president, so I got to roll with the goddamn punches. But I never believed. And you had them violating campaign laws blatantly on TV for the whole world to see when Elon Musk was offering millions of dollars for people to go vote. You cannot do that. That is illegal in this goddamn country. And not only that, you had Elon Musk donating millions of dollars to this goddamn campaign for some damn reason. And the person that had the richest man in the world giving him money won the election. Trump is not a real goddamn president. Donald Trump is not a real president that got elected by the majority of the American citizens. You can say whatever the hell you want, but the fact that you had Elon Musk paying for his candidate to fucking win, I'm pretty sure there's a limit, and that there is a limit on donations to a damn campaign by one person. We talked about that here on the show, but nobody said shit. You see? So, I'm saying all of this. What was the agenda? We know that we had Project 2025 that was the playbook for how they were supposed to govern in this White House, which is being implemented right now. And everybody has forgot all about Project 2025 and the religious right running this goddamn country right Then you had them create this fucking boogeyman, DEI, which basically means black people, and that's the heart and soul of what white America hates is black Americans. So they kind of dog whistle that term out there, and whenever you say DEI, that means black people. And evidence number one is when Donald Trump got into the White House and all the planes started falling out the fucking sky, literally. The first speech that he made on what was happening is that he said it was because of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which means, quote unquote, too many black people work for the fucking FAA. He's a racist. So when they made DEI the boogeyman and got their marching orders from Project 2025, and Elon Musk slid into there wanting to enrich himself off of our fucking data and tax money and subsidies, right? I knew that this whole fucking goddamn team, you corrupt shit, broke shit, it's not gonna last unless you do something right, unless you build a strong foundation. Then the fucking building is gonna fucking fall, right? So I seen that this damn foundation is fucked up when you got the richest man in the world and you got a fucking sexual fucking predator, somebody who has been civilly charged with sexual assault, somebody who's committed numerous crimes over history, stolen from charities, enriched himself, violating the Emoluments Clause, practicing nepotism in the White House with his children and daughter, with his sons. I mean, this shit is all corrupt. This is not America anymore. I know that we want to hold on to that idea of what America was striving to be before the era of the corrupt Donald Trump. But this is not that country before Donald Trump. This is not Barack Obama's America. I can't even include Joe Biden's time in there. And the reason that I say that is because the entire time Joe Biden was the president, there was a shadow president sitting down there in Mar-a-Lago running the Republican Party. That has never happened in the history of this country, not that I know of, that whenever you have a sitting president, duly elected, that you had the former president interrupting in the ongoings of the current president. I've never seen that before. And even with that, no one told this motherfucker, you cannot interfere with government affairs. That is illegal. I guarantee you that if you look up y'all goddamn laws, that you will find out that everything that Donald Trump was doing while Joe Biden was the president, by influencing those congressmen, telling them what to do, telling them what to vote for, you can find in your fucking laws that is a goddamn crime. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I know you can't interfere with government affairs. And that's exactly what Donald Trump was doing. So you had that shit going on. And then you had Elon Musk, who is the owner of Tesla and SpaceX and a lot of companies that receive subsidies from the government. So Elon Musk invested in the president some chump change out of him being fucking goddamn 60 billion goddamn trillion dollars rich. He gave that to the president so he could have access to the data and creating policies that will provide him with more subsidies for his companies. So it was kind of clear why Elon Musk was involved. I'm not agreeing with it, but I can see, because that's where the majority of his riches came from, was from government subsidies, why he would try to get a hold and be in charge of which way our tax dollars go towards him. So he was in the White House, he was in the administration, and he was trying to dictate policy to go towards his fucking interests. Now, I don't know what happened to cause Elon Musk to turn on Donald Trump, but something happened. And that's not it. I pulled up the article from the Atlantic. I think I did. And I'm going to go over it because like I don't know exactly what happened, so that's why I want to pull up this article so I can get a pretty good idea of what's going on. And this article is from the Atlantic. And looked like it was dated June the 5th, which was today, I guess. And it says, Elon Musk goes nuclear. The world's richest man and the president of the United States are now openly fighting. It says, from the moment Elon Musk bounded on stage, midriff bear, and to campaign for Donald Trump, cynics predicted the two men's egos were too large to allow for a lasting alliance. In probability, however, the bond persisted despite the rocky rollout of the U.S. Doge service, disagreements over legislation, and even covers the New Yorker and the Times that seemed designed to troll Trump and drive a wedge between the two. Now it seems cynics were wrong. Just premature in their prediction. A feud that simmered all week broke into outright hostility this afternoon, with Trump appearing to threaten to cancel all of the contracts and tax subsidies Musk companies have with the government. Musk alleging that Trump hasn't released the files for Jeffrey Epstein because he is implicated in them. The falling out feels both inevitable and still shocking. The Germans must have a word for this stipulation. Perhaps Trump could ask Chancellor Frederick, who visited the White House today. Oh, well, I didn't pay for the Atlanta, so the fucking article is grayed out. Let me see if I can. It was only Friday that Musk held the amicable press briefing in the Oval Office to mark Musk's time in special government employees as he returned to his somewhat battered company. Trump presented Musk with a key to the White House, gilded, but you know that Musk promised to. Okay, so the article fades out. I don't know, but this is what I'm saying. You know what I'll do? Hold on, and I'm not fitting to pay you Atlantic so I can see your whole goddamn. I hate that newspapers do that nowadays. At one point in time, you used to be able to open the fucking website for the newspaper and you could read the goddamn article. The Atlantic want $84 a year, and the print and the digital is $94 a year. Y'all can kiss my ass. I'm not paying for that shit. It's on the internet, and I'm pretty sure other websites have these articles, but I'm not gonna look for it. I ain't gonna waste y'all time. What's that? $84 is $7 a month. I ain't paying that shit. So this is what I'll do, and y'all have to bear with me here. Is I'm gonna pull up Truth Social, and I'm gonna pull up Elon Musk's Twitter. Now, what I want to do, y'all know I like to pick on my two favorite people in the world, is I want to hear Sarge's and ABC's opinion on this little spat that Elon Musk and Donald Trump is having. I really want to hear their opinion. And I, just like last week, I can already predict what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Even though both of them show support for Elon Musk, right? I guarantee you, when we hear from them, because they are Trump apologists, because they are cult members, because they lick the orange nutsack of this fucking dog-eating conspiracy theorist motherfucker, they're going to let me just play that right quick to remind myself of who I'm talking about. Hold on for a second.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
That never gets old with me. But because they love Donald Trump, I guarantee you that ABC, Mr. Solutions, and Sarge is somehow or another going to tell us how much of a terrible person Elon Musk is. I promise you, that will be the overall thought process of these fucking zombies. These cult following members, even though they supported Elon Musk, they said that Elon Musk was going to fix the country with Doge. Sarge came on here and told us how good Doge was, and all the damn fraud, waste, and abuse that Doge was going to fucking find. You know, they promoted this guy. I guarantee you, those idiots are going to somehow or another say that Elon Musk is wrong. I promise you. As a matter of fact, they're in the damn chat room. Sorry, ABC, tell me what you think about Elon Musk. And sorry, don't do that shit where you say, well, I don't know nothing about it. I ain't hear nothing about it. Bitch, you heard about it. Everybody heard about it. So here's Twitter. Or should we start with Truth Social? All right, so I ain't good at this shit, but this is Donald Trump's feed right here. So I'm going to scroll down and see if I can find a start place. I know there's probably earlier tweets, but I'm not going to scroll down that far. So on Truth Social right here, Donald Trump 6 hours ago said Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody wanted, that he knew this for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. So this is what Donald Trump said about Elon Musk 6 hours ago. And then he said, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So he said that about Elon Musk 6 hours ago, and then 5 hours ago he said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done it months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion. Let me stop my Trump imitation. And then, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path to greatness. Make America great again. That's a lie. All that shit is a lie. So this is what Donald Trump said on Truth Social. Elon Musk on X went fucking ham. Because he don't give a shit. Elon Musk wasn't. I can't stand Elon Musk. He's a fucking racist too. But Elon Musk don't give a shit. Let me see where we can start on Twitter. This was about 6 hours ago. That's what I'm trying to find out, about the same timeline. 6 hours ago. So I just Elon Musk is rage tweeting more than damn Donald Trump. So I'll just start down here where Elon Musk retweeted something that Donald Trump tweeted 7 hours ago. And Elon Musk retweeted this and said, "Where is the man who said these words? Was he replaced by a body double?" And then he retweeted this thing that somebody tweeted to him where Donald Trump said, "No member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits are not allowed." Donald Trump said that in 2012. So what Elon Musk is saying is Donald Trump is not balancing the budget and he's exploding the goddamn deficit. So when the Democrats was in and they thought that the Democrats was going to raise the damn debt, this is what Donald Trump tweeted. And Elon Musk says, "Where's the man who said that?" And then, okay, I ain't gonna read that. Elon Musk tweeted, "Not even those in Congress who had to vote for the big ugly spending bill had time to read it." And then he tweeted somebody named Thomas Massey. The House has 72-hour rule, which required the bill to be posted 72 hours before passage. But the Speaker circumvented this rule with the manager's amendment that rewrote and added substantial proportions to the bill as it went through the rules of committee. What Elon Musk is retweeting there is that the people in Congress didn't even have time to read the bill before they passed it. And he's got a Republican Congress member saying that, right? And then Elon Musk tweeted, "Balanced budget or bust." And then he tweeted, "I super agree with this guy. At some point, Congress has to stop this endless cycle of out of control spending." Now that sounds like something that a Republican would say pre-Donald Trump, okay? And then he tweeted, "Congress is spending America into bankruptcy." Now I want to hear what Sarge and ABC got to say as the richest man in the goddamn world, who I despise and I do not like, and they support. You know, they was licking his nutsack at one time. Is saying that Congress is spending America into bankruptcy. And then Elon Musk tweeted this. This was said about Jared. "I am delighted to nominate Jared Isaacman, an accomplished business leader, philanthropist, pilot, and astronaut, as the administrator of the National Aeronautic Space Community. Jared will drive NASA's mission." Okay, so there's this fight that's going on with Donald Trump and Elon Musk with NASA. Okay, so Elon Musk wanted to nominate somebody who has political support for the Democrats. Donald Trump said, "Hell no, you ain't finna put no Democrat in NASA," and that pissed Elon Musk off too. So that's what that's what that tweet is about. Hold on. Here's somebody saying that what Elon Musk is doing right now is genuinely heroic. Oh, fuck all that. And then Elon Musk retweeted what Donald Trump tweeted earlier, what I read to you earlier, and he said where Donald Trump was saying Elon is wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandates and forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody wanted. Elon Musk says this is such an obvious lie, so sad. And then Elon Musk tweeted, this just gets better. Go ahead and make my day. I don't know. We talking about the president of the United States and the world's richest man. This is what Sarge and ABC voted for. They voted for big, grown-ass, fucking racist-ass children to run this fucking goddamn, the most powerful nation on earth. I don't hear any goddamn objection to their conduct right now, which is unbecoming of people who's in charge in these powerful positions. And then Elon Musk tweeted, this is for you, ABC. Time to drop a really big bomb. At Donald Trump. He tagged Donald Trump. At Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Now, listen. Y'all know me. I always call Donald Trump a pedo because he is. He is. I know that. And if you watched any of the damn interaction between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, you will see that Donald Trump, and I put up the damn flight record where Donald Trump was on that goddamn Epstein's jet, flying to the goddamn island multiple times. Now, here's my issue, is that when Sarge and ABC and others were attacking the other side, they was accusing them of pedophilia. They was accusing them of drinking children's blood. They was accusing them of dissecting babies and all this kind of crazy shit, right? With no evidence. They did not prove any of their claims when it came to Democrats. And I'm not saying that Democrats weren't involved. I'm not saying that at all. But they put the blame solely on Democrats. I'm just going to be upfront and say that humans, whenever they get wealthy and powerful, for some reason, they like to do pedophilia shit. I don't know what it is. So I'm not saying either side, but my point is they are hypocrites when it comes to Donald Trump. Because we got evidence of Donald Trump being at Epstein Island. We got video of Donald Trump and Epstein partying together, right? Where are the complaints about Donald Trump helping support child sex trafficking and pedophilia? Now, this is Elon Musk saying this. This is not Tyrone saying this. Elon Musk was actually in the White House. Elon Musk actually had access to the data, which most likely he's seen the goddamn files. I don't know. But for some reason, during this spat with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump threatened to take away the subsidies for the EV vehicles, right? Elon Musk wanted to retaliate on his platform and say Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they has not been released. Oh, okay. I'll open your lines in a second. I just seen first note ourselves. I'll open your line in 1 second. So whenever you look at what Elon Musk just tweeted about Donald Trump, where are these guys on the right, on the right, the ones that call in here, that was complaining about pedophilia, that was worried about the children, that was doing all of that crap? Where the hell are they at whenever Donald Trump is clearly in the Epstein's files, according to somebody else y'all supported, Elon Musk? And Elon Musk retweeted Donald Trump where he said the easiest way to save money in our budget and billions of billions of dollars to terminate the Elon Musk subsidies and contracts. This is another subject that I kind of agree with Donald Trump on, is that we called out how much of our money Elon Musk is getting in the form of government subsidies. Wasteful fucking spending. Money that is going to the richest man in the goddamn world out of our pockets. For what? So Donald Trump is saying, exposing the what we already knew, is that Elon Musk is sucking money out of the fucking government. All right. In the light of the president's statements about the cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin to decommission its Dragon spacecraft immediately. What is that telling us? That is telling us this man has so much power that whenever he gets pissed, he can stop the innovation of humanity by flying into space and conducting science. You see what the fuck y'all did? Y'all gave all of these rich motherfuckers so much power that this motherfucker can threaten to stop humanity's progress in science and development. So if Donald Trump threatened his EV subsidies, he gonna threaten the NASA programs to stop going to goddamn space. What the fuck? This is what the fuck y'all did. Y'all wanted these motherfuckers in charge. Y'all wanted the richest motherfucker in the goddamn world to be in charge of our fucking goddamn government. Y'all wanted a fucking sexual abuser, criminal, liar that steals from charities. Y'all wanted these motherfuckers to run our countries all because you support racism and you didn't want a black woman or a repeat of a Barack Obama in the goddamn White House. This is how fucking stupid y'all are. This is how fucking hateful and dumb y'all are, because y'all got caught up into this DEI, fucking Black Lives Matter, anti-Black Lives Matter, this woke shit. All this shit, all this animosity targeted towards black people has geared y'all up to put these idiots in the goddamn White House. And now you see that Donald Trump is threatening Elon Musk with the damn subsidies that we don't want to give him any goddamn way. And Elon Musk retaliates by threatening the damn space program, which has contributed over so much to humanity over time. Listen, y'all voted for this dumb shit. Okay, so what's
Can I say something, Tyrone?
Hey, what's up, Jabbar? Go ahead, man.
Hey. Well, to my understanding, Elon, he is really a Democrat. And we know how it's been proven that Democrats will stab people in the back, especially the former president, which has just been revealed by two people. So it doesn't surprise me what Elon Musk is saying and is threatening to do once he is told that his contracts will be suspended or done away with. He was in it for his own self-interest. That's my thought on it. Trump used him like a used rubber. Once he used him, he threw him away. And Elon Musk, he's pissed off about that, which is understandable. But he never should have come on Trump's team expecting anything at all, because Trump's position is that he's doing for the lower class and middle class people. And in doing so, he's upset a lot of wealthy people. So that's what I'll say about that.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with you, man. But the only point I disagree with you is that calling Elon Musk a Democrat. I understand where you're coming from, because he did support Democrat policies and people in the past. But I wouldn't call him a Democrat. Elon Musk is a South African racist piece of shit that has gained power through taking from others. And at one point in time in Elon's life, he's seen the most advantageous thing for him to do was side with the left when it comes to his electronic vehicles. Because you know what? I love free energy. I love electric vehicles. I love saving the earth. I love battery powered shit. And Elon Musk knew that was the biggest thing going at the time that he was trying to build Tesla. So he sided with the left on that goddamn shit. Then, whenever it was advantageous to him, he flipped sides. So you're gonna go against your damn base that supports your product for political reasons. So being that he came into it like that, I wouldn't call him a Democrat. I would say that he has a history of supporting the Democrats. You know what I mean? Hell, if that's the case, Donald Trump is a goddamn Democrat because he supported the Democrats at one time, right? So I think these guys don't even need the political titles because they're not showing what the core of those political parties are. And they actually ruin the parties, to be honest with you. I know the Democrats.
No, they haven't. I mean, the Republican Party is strong, even though I'm a registered independent. The Republican Party, it's strong. They got out or got rid of a lot of the old, like what do you call them, rhinos or those who were shaky. But the Democratic Party, it's in shambles, complete shambles.
So why are you saying the Republican Party is strong?
Destroyed it.
Listen, why are you saying the Republican Party is strong?
Because they are backing Trump's agenda.
Okay. So let's say
that's why.
Let's take that for instance. So you're saying,
and they're not really infighting. They're not really infighting. They understand what needs to be done. They believe in Trump's agenda, and they're doing the best they can to support it.
Okay, so you're saying in order to be a strong party for the Republicans, you have to blindly follow the leadership of that goddamn party. Jabbar, that's not democracy. Do you understand?
They're not blindly following.
That is autocracy. That is like a monarchy. You can't say the
Republicans. They're not blindly following him.
You just said it. They following Trump's agenda. You just said that. That just came out of your damn mouth.
Right. They follow his agenda because they believe in it. They understand it.
And you're saying the same thing that I'm saying, is that you guys are following blindly whatever Donald Trump says, you're following it. Is that right?
Not whatever. They're not following him just because he says it. My position is that they are following it because they believe in his strategy of making America great again.
Okay, so now you kind of turning this into a goddamn religion. This is not politics.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not turning into a religion.
Listen, Jabbar.
I mean, it's go ahead. I'm listening.
Whenever you say that they follow his agenda, the entire political party, you are not talking about a democracy no more. Whenever you say that they follow him because they believe him, you're touching on like theologian beliefs and following somebody because of a belief system. That is not politics anymore. Now you're admitting to me what I'm saying, but because it's being repeated back to you, you don't want to accept the damn truth. But you just sit up here and confess that the Republican Party is strong because they're following Donald Trump's agenda, and that Republican Party is strong is because they believe in Donald Trump. You just said those two things, did you not?
That's exactly what I said, yeah.
Okay, then. That's not a democracy.
A democracy is a system of government,
right,
by which people vote in order to determine who their representatives are.
Exactly.
And wait a minute. And the way that the representatives are finally chosen is by a majority vote. That's the democracy.
Right.
That's
so
what democracy. People vote, and the majority wins.
Once they choose the representatives, the representative's responsibility is to go to the same constituencies and ask for approval for policies. They're not just supposed to fucking push it through. And what you're saying is that when
Donald
Trump...
They already did that when they voted. They already did that.
No. See, now you're cutting off part
yes,
of the
they
democracy.
already voted it.
Okay, they already voted. Okay, wait, hold on, follow me, brother.
Voted. They trusted their representatives.
They did.
Right,
so once you vote somebody in, that's not the end of it. That's why they have town halls. That's why they have meetings. That's why we are allowed to write to our representatives and oppose whatever the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Well, the reason why they're having town halls and doing everything else that you said is because that's all they can do. They are not in the majority. They lost. So what else can they do but
No, I'm talking about your winning party. No, I'm talking about your winning party. Once your party wins, right, and you elect that representative, and you elect that representative that wins. We're talking about the Republicans now. Once that representative get in office, that's not the end. That is not a do-all for that fucking representative to go and do whatever the fuck they want to do. For instance, if you took a fucking town mayor and he won the election, that town mayor cannot take the fucking city's budget and just go buy houses and cars and prostitutes. You can't do that because the people did not elect you to do that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So now you can oppose that elected representative. Say, hey, Mr. Mayor, this ain't what we elected you for. So we're going to go through this procedure and try to get you on track, or you won't be elected again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not what's going on in Washington.
That.
That's not what's going on in Washington right now, or according to you, how you think things should go. You think everybody should listen to what Donald Trump says and follow suit. That's what you just said.
Well, Tyrone, those in the Republican Party, their constituents, if they have an issue with what their representatives are doing, they will make them aware of it. You know why that hasn't really happened? It's because they agree with the agenda.
Okay, well, we disagree on that.
No,
they agree with the agenda.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
What's up, Big J? I'm sorry. I got caught up with Jabari. So
the majority of them do. The majority of them do.
Hold on. Let me get these people on the line first. Hold on. Big J, I got you. And then there was another unknown caller. And Howard, I got your line. Who's this other unknown caller?
Is you on my line?
Yeah, your line is open. And then Howard, your line is open.
I'm ready for your ass.
Okay, so hold on for a minute before you go. I'm going to get Big J, and then I'm going to get Howard, and then you can go after that.
Hey, Tyrone, you don't have to come to me, man. I'm just listening, bro.
Tyrone.
Oh, shit, Joshua. Okay, Big J, Joshua, and then Sarge, okay? Okay, go ahead, Big J.
Don't come to me. So,
I heard you.
Don't come to me,
bro.
Heard you. I'm good.
I heard you. Go ahead.
No, me or Howard?
You, Big J.
Here's where he gets it wrong at. I don't know who this person is. He gets his ideas. Jabbar. Well, every time in any representative democracy, there's always
a representative. We're not a representative.
Let him get it out, man. We heard
Constitutional republic.
Hey, okay, come on, man. Let him
I'm
get it
talking.
Let him get it out.
You got your information wrong. So when I talk, don't overspeak when I'm talking. Now, here's the thing. I'm getting tired of niggas doing that bullshit. You're talking and you don't know shit.
Jabbar,
you're talking and know nothing.
Jabbar,
you're talking and don't know nothing.
Jabbar, you're going to get a chance to respond. Just don't cut him off because people are listening and one at a time can only be heard. So please don't cut him off. Go ahead,
Now, the point is, it's been American tradition for people to get elected, and then they go back to their constituents in the districts and states that they live in to sit there and listen to what the people got to say. They do that all the time. After it doesn't matter Democrat or Republican. Republicans and Democrats do it all the time since American founding. So I don't know why though you think though nobody's supposed to say anything after the election. Here's another thing. There's already fractures within the Republican Party. Go look at the Speaker of the House election this January when Chip Roy was withholding his vote for Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. He was doing that because he was trying to pressure the Republicans over spending. Now since Trump and Musk got together, two months ago. What's the name? Messi from a Kentucky or I think he's from Tennessee, and Rand Paul are now trying to be isolated out of the loop. The Republican Party is just as weak as the Democrats. The only problem is with the Democrats is that they have no masculine within them. There's no masculine; it's all feminine. They act like whips. So the thing is, I'm gonna tell the fucking truth. And what's his name? Yeah, Messi is from the state of Kentucky. Thank you, East Coast in the chat room. So you got to sit there, and even in Texas, home state of Texas, there's already a fracture. Now they now just know that what Greg Abbott is doing goes against the American First agenda. You don't send no illegal immigrants to Chicago and to Baltimore and to Martin the Vineyard under false pretenses, and then act like, well, I'm fighting against illegal immigration when you're just sending people not so-called blue states and blue cities. If you're gonna talk, put your facts on the table. I'm done.
All right. We're gonna get Brother Joshua and then Sarge.
Well, like I said, when these people voted for Trump, and they get on here and they, and I'm talking about Sarge and ABC, and they get on there it's like Trump is sitting on their face, butt naked, and they just going to town. So they like face. It's like face city. You ever had a woman face city before? That's what Trump do to the ABC and SARS. Face it them. But my point is that this doesn't surprise me that they had a break in this. I mean, had a split in their little relationship that they had because they both got egos. Okay, and there's a phrase in the Bible where it says Satan will cast out the devil. Check that out. You see what I mean? So they both devils, but they casting out each other. You see what I mean? So this doesn't surprise me. The point of the matter, the only reason why them jokers are following Trump up in there because they're scared of him. I've never seen a bunch of men afraid of a dude like this. I've never seen this in politics in my 30-something years of starting to understand politics. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen House of Representatives, Congress afraid of Trump, afraid of a president like this. Now, President Obama, he made this clear. He said if he had did some of the same thing that Trump is doing now, he said he would have got it on both sides with no problem. For some reason or another, these dudes in Congress are afraid of him. I don't know what it has nothing to do with they follow him and the democracy. Fuck the democracy and all that shit is dead. We got no democracy. This guy can come in office and literally wipe out Black history. That's not a democracy. This guy can come into office and literally wipe out Medicaid, etc., and all those things. That's not the democracy. This guy right now, they got a bill. They're trying to sneak in it. It's called it's HR 3518. And basically, Tyrone, in that bill, they're saying if they're attacking medical schools, okay, and they're saying that they're going to cut all funding off of medical schools if they admit that there is racial disparities. That's not a democracy. A democracy don't do those things. And they say if they admit that there's racism or racial disparities in medical schools, etc., they're going to cut down all the funding in these medical schools. That meaning what? Who's going to probably get hurt the most out of this? Young Black men and women who are going to school to be doctors. And they got to use maybe a grant or maybe some aid, etc. That's what's going to get hurt most about this. So that to me is not a democracy. So we got to determine and understand first what's a democracy. This guy's trying to gut Civil Rights Act. Well, they damn near did it really. Then The new thing they got going down here is that they're no longer black servicemen who are engineers, okay? They done cut the funding out of that, so those black men or women who were engineers coming out the military, guess what? It doesn't matter now. They can't get no. It's like they told them not to join the army again. They said your services won't be needed. That's not a democracy. You know, so again, we have to really determine and understand what a democracy is before we start talking. Well, it's a democracy. No, both of them parties are dead. Both of them parties, Democrat and Republican, are weak. They are busted up, really. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I had to say, Tyrone. But yeah. So you know, he's doing a lot of things that are really un-American. Him in that little Ku Klux Klansman Vance, his vice president, he's a Klansman. He's a Klansman. That Project 25 was started and written up by white supremacists, and that's a fact. So again, that's what I got to say, man.
All right, and guys, I put the HR 3518 on the screen there so you guys can see it. It says it's a bill introduced by the 119th Congress aimed at amending Higher Education Act of 1965. It focuses on prohibiting graduate medical schools from receiving federal financial assistance if they adopt certain policies related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This bill was introduced in the House of May 2025, and has been referred to the House Committee on the Education and Workforce. So what Joshua is saying is correct. And let me just say a little bit. Whenever we as a country, whenever the media, whenever the politicians are accepting the fact that they're going to do away with diversity, equity, and inclusion, that should trouble every person of color in this damn country. Because they're not talking about white Americans. Whenever you hear DEI, the exclusion to that conversation is white Americans. So whenever they're attacking DEI, they're attacking people of color, specifically black people. And the reason that this...
How you know that, Tyrone?
Because that's... Say the three words, Jabbar. I mean, come on. That's what it is. Do you know the history of this goddamn country? The reason that diversity, equity, as inclusion was included into these regulations and bills and stuff like that is because they wasn't fairly hiring black people. Black people didn't have a fair chance at education in this country. So they had to include diversity in the language of the bills and laws in this country. But
hey Tyrone, this guy you're talking about, is this a white dude you talking to?
No, that's Jabbar. But let me get.
No, I'm saying, is he white or black? Is he white or black, Tyrone?
This is a phone call. He could be purple, man. I don't fucking know. This Jabbar, but I'm assuming that he's black.
What does he profess himself to be?
He's a Trumper.
No, I'm saying
American.
White or black?
I'm a black American.
Oh, okay. So you a black
citizen? I'm a citizen.
All right, brother.
Okay, so
you don't need to say shit. I got what you're saying. I heard what you said, bro. You are a black American holding up the goddamn dominant society's rules. I got you. Cool.
So let me check if Elisa want to go before Sarge or not. Elisa, I open your line. Are you there?
Yeah, Tyrone. Hi, everyone.
What's happening?
Are you? Let me just say real quick. I don't know. I know this person that called in before, and it's just unbelievable how people shit like that. How do you know, Tyrone? You said they talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. How do you know? Because that's what they're trying to do. I just wonder how people kid like that. That's all I want to say. I had some things I was going to say, but let's go ahead and go.
Yeah, guys, and just to be clear, Jabbar, diversity, equity, and inclusion, the meaning is in the goddamn words itself. Whenever you're talking about being diverse in this country, it was a majority white people having access to everything. So they said they needed to
Tyrone, if
okay,
he don't
wait,
know
let me.
DEI, Tyrone, if he don't know DEI means everything except black.
Except white.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I don't know what about
that's what I was trying to explain. Is that there was a time in this country. Hold on, there was a time in this country that when
I said that wrong. I said, hold up, let me take it back. I said DEI means everything except white.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So there was a time wait a minute. There was
white
a time.
Men.
Yeah, there was a time in this country when only white people had access to everything, right? So they had to diversify that.
White men.
White men.
White men.
All right, Sarge, what you got, brother? Before you get started, I want you to address the spat between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and Elon Musk accusing Donald Trump of being in the Epstein files. Go ahead.
God damn, man. Why am I the only one you ever put requirements on?
Well, I just wanted to hear.
Just ramble on, however they gonna ramble on. Me, you put me on some goddamn requirement.
Okay, well, I just wanted to hear what you had to say.
It's your show. You can do it if you want to, but don't you think for a goddamn minute I'm not gonna notice it?
Okay, she's a runner. He's a track star.
Wait a minute. Let me say this. Say this, man. Look, I'm gonna do that though, because you made that request and it's your show. That's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna tell you one goddamn thing. Get your motherfucking finger off that mute button, because I'm gonna say what I got to say, and I promise you I'll be concise, and I will not ramble, and I will not be repetitive. I promise you that.
Hey,
it's not a problem. It's just,
can I ask one favor?
One second. You can't. It's not a problem. The only time I mute you is when you cutting me off. But
no, you mute me, shit, nigga. You got to be kidding me.
But Jabari wanted to ask you something. His idol is on the phone, so he wants to talk to his idol. Go ahead, Jabari.
Sarge, can you do me one favor?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
When you set these weak black men straight, try not to hurt their feelings. Try not to hurt their feelings.
Oh,
well, I always hurt their feelings no matter what I say. It's just inevitable. But here's the key to dealing with these people. Do not accept their corrupt premises. Always challenge them. Never accept their premises at face value as though it's essentially true and unchallengeable. Challenge them on everything just like they do you, and you'll be all right.
Well, do y'all need some slow music? Do y'all need some slow music?
Let me say this about the Musk-Trump battle. Then I'd like to make the comments I'd like to make. All right? First of all, I ain't got no team Musk. I ain't got no team Trump. I'm a natural-born citizen of the United States, and my team is what is best for the United States of America and the citizens. Now, if Trump and or Musk are doing things that are good for the United States and the citizens of America, I'm going to be 1,000% behind them. If they ain't, I'm going to call them on it. And I got to admit, on this one, I got to go with Musk. Because this adds too goddamn much money to the budget, even though there's some good things in it. And it was passed at 2 a.m. in the morning when none of these stupid-ass congressmen got to read the damn thing. So I hate that when the Democrats do it. I hate it when what you say our side does it. So I'm against this damn bill. But let me tell you something about this Trump-Musk feud that you make such a big goddamn deal out after ignoring that motherfucking senile bastard for the last 4 years. And let the country be invaded and just fucked up a routine military withdrawal, not even under enemy pressure in Afghanistan, which is one of the worst things I've ever seen any president with sole responsibility for it ever do. But let me make my goddamn point. Will you mute yourself? And you let these people just ramble on? I can't say shit. You gonna challenge me, huh? Let me say what I got to say. I voted for Donald Trump for these reasons. One, he's getting rid of DEI, particularly in the armed forces of the United States, and to make the armed forces a military fighting machine that is lethal and efficient and tends to deter anybody from fucking with us, so we ain't got to fight no stupid war. Number two, he secured the border. Secured the border and deporting these goddamn illegal aliens. Number three, he's ending the unreciprocal tariffs that have bugged this country since 1948, and there's no more reason for it. He's doing that. Number four, he is working to get investments back in this country to restore the manufacturing base. He's talking about tax cuts. He's talking about ending birthright citizenship. He wants to end the war in Ukraine. He is the only president we've had since this war started, and there's only been two, I'll grant you. But he's the only president of the two who's even got the sides together to start discussing peace talks. And finally, like I said, this bill is a monstrosity. It needs to go into deep reconciliation and need to get rid of all the shit that's fucked up. Like I said, my team is United States and what's best for its citizens. And finally, like I said, this thing with Musk, y'all love rap. These are the biggest rap battles of all time. You stop to think about it. Y'all thought Cool J and Cool Mo D was a big deal. Jay-Z versus Nas, Ice Cube versus NWA, Biggie versus Tupac. Hell, that ain't shit compared to this. Compared to the two biggest battle rappers in the planet. Duking it out. Y'all be laying back and enjoying it. What you complaining about? It ought to be fun.
Okay, so you
and
just skip.
If something good comes out of it, I say, hey, more power to both of them. If something good comes out of it. But I ain't got no team for neither one of these men. I'm for the United States and what's best for our citizenry. And I'm telling you right now, what Donald Trump is doing in the main
I
is
want
best
my
for
personal
this country.
information back. I want my personal information back.
You ain't got nothing. Nobody wants to talk about your
You come
personal
up with good
information.
arguments you can never do.
Okay, so check this out. You just skip over the fact why Elon Musk was put into the administration. He went in there to try to clean up and find $1 trillion or I think it was $2 trillion in wasteful spending, right? So the people that you voted for did not accomplish that goal. They failed at that goal. And the people that you voted for.
So they didn't accomplish anything else?
Okay. I
mean, it's amazing to me. I never said they were perfect. I don't expect them to be perfect. You do.
This is
you
why
show us all that down. You let Joe.
I want to announce that this is why I mute you, because I know I was in the middle of my damn thought and you opened your goddamn mouth. So
I know you were, because you just outrageous the way you talk your shit.
Well, see, I'm calling you out because you full of shit. You came on here and promoted Doge. You came on here and promoted Elon Musk being in the administration. An unelected goddamn billionaire, and you said that Elon Musk was going to fix the goddamn country. That's what the fuck you said, nigga.
I never said any such thing. So he's going to uncover waste, which he did, at least $200 billion worth. Like, that ain't nothing.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, there's more to be found.
Okay, that's not true.
So I didn't say he was going to fix the country. You always have to make straw man of my arguments because you can't sustain
an
argument.
I'm not going to do this.
On what I actually say.
Okay, so before I go to Lisa, I just want to remind everybody that Elon Musk worked in the White House and he seen the Epstein file and he tweeted that Donald Trump was a pedophile. He didn't say pedophile, but he said that he was on the Epstein list, and he said it would come out later. So, Elisa, you and sorry I didn't address that. So,
yeah, we know he was a passenger on the plane. That's about it.
That is not what is being said here. Okay.
Well,
Okay. Hold on. Let's stay here. Okay.
I damn sure ain't gonna listen to you.
Okay, let's stay here. Let's say that you and I agree that he was a passenger on the plane. Where was that plane going?
Did he go to Epstein Island or not? Did Musk say that's where he went?
I'm asking you.
I'm not asking you. You're the one bringing it up.
You just
I'm not making this case. You are.
You just said that he was
just being a passenger on one of his aircraft to a flight somewhere ain't enough for me. All the SH&IT was supposed to be going on Epstein Island.
It wasn't a flight somewhere. It was the Epstein jet, and that jet took people to a certain place. Now, where was that plane going?
Get more information and get back to me, will you?
Where was that? Shut the hell up. Where was that plane going that you just admitted Donald Trump was a passenger on?
I don't know. You're the one. Why'd you tell me? I don't know. You're the one making claims.
He don't know. He don't know.
See, let me tell you about the difference between you and me. When I get ready to make claims, I got a solid basis of fact to make the assertions from. You never do. You just throw up shit against the wall and see if it'll stick.
Okay, so the plane was going to Epstein Island. That's where the plane was going.
How you know that, Tyrone?
Because you want me to post the damn flight log again? I already posted the flight log. I can find it for you.
Planes have flight logs and manifests.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
So but let Elisa go. Go ahead, Elisa.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Epstein gave an interview. He said out of his own mouth the first time Trump had sex with a pole dancing prostitute whore was on his plane. Y'all heard that interview that Epstein gave? when Trump, the first time he had sex with a particular prostitute whore, pole dancer, was on his plane. He ended up marrying her. That's Melania. Anyway,
future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins.
Anyway, no, he's had sex with plenty. He didn't join. He's probably had sex with plenty of women. But that's the first time him and a particular whore had sex. Nobody said he broke any laws. No one said that. Anyway,
hold on, Sarge. See, hold on. Other people talking now. Come on, man. Chill out.
No one said laws are broken. We all know what the Mile High Club is. It's just that speaks and it reeks of the whoreism and the slutism and the type of people that they are. And she's first lady. That's what that speaks of. Breaking laws? No, as far as him up on that plane. Anyway, Tyrone, when you were talking
about virtue all of a sudden. Wow.
Someone said that Elon Musk was a Democrat. Elon Musk is not a Democrat. He was never a Democrat. If you do your homework, you can find that out. Elon Musk honeyed up. He will honey up to whomever is in office. He honeyed up to the Democrats, like you said, because they were real big on electric cars and different things like that, which that's a good thing for the planet. And anybody who doesn't know that, it's cuckoo and slow for Cocoa Puffs. You should know that. We're all not going to live forever. We have to protect the planet for the next generation. So I don't understand why people don't get that. But nonetheless, he honeyed up to them, and he got all them and whoever else was in to get all these big government contracts to get all of this money. He started running into regulatory issues. And they were, the Biden administration, along with these different agencies, were investigating Elon Musk. So if he wanted to keep the gravy train going, he knew what he had to do. He bought Twitter. He turned it into a cesspool, a right-wing cesspool. And he knew that would help. And who knows what all he did with that election. But some of the things that has been reported that he's done to help him get the election, so much went on with that. And he knew he could get him in. He could get America and buy a president on the cheap. What was it, $250 million? I think it was. So he was able to do that. He bought it on the cheap. And Trump would jump at any sucker, dirt trash that will help keep him out of prison. That's why he got in cahoots with Elon. And when Elon went in, as far as the DEI, that was Trump's red meat that he fed to MAGA, getting rid of all of that so Elon could work that in while he was trashing everything with the government. But you have to look at the government agencies that he trashed and that he shut down first, the ones that were investigating his ass. They're gone. And all of the people who were going to do the investigation, they was going to start having them hearings, they're gone. That is why Elon got what he wanted. Got what he wanted. A lot of his regulatory issues went away for his company, Starlink and all those different things, and he could keep bringing in the government contracts. That was one of the reasons that he went in. And Trump jumped on board because he knew he wasn't going to win that election. He needed something to help get him over the threshold. And a lot of things that they did, will we ever find out about them? I doubt it. Will the Democrats ever come out? They know what all was done. But we all know both parties are weak. The Republican Party is crashing, and they're going to continue to crash around us. So no, Elon was not a Democrat. That is the stupidest thing that anybody can say if you're following any of this. If you have followed Elon, Elon will rub up whoever's in charge to be able to get what he needs. He's not a Democrat. He's never been a Democrat. You look up what he always called himself, whether that was true or not. He's never been a Democrat. And now whatever the things, but the good thing about all of this is fussing and fighting, that it's scrapping at each other. Let's hope they do. Continue with it. Steve Bannon is calling for him to be deported. Donald Trump is talking about they're gonna take hold of Starlink and all of that. Do it. Do it. because all of them are trash. Do it. You know why? Because Elon knows where all the bodies are buried. You forgot he got everybody's information, including Trump, everybody that's in his administration. That was one of his goals, too. Trump wants everybody's information, too, because y'all heard when he's getting ready to start the thing where they can have everybody's information, all of their private, this, that, so that we see where they're going with all of that. So Trump wanted it too. Elon wanted it too. He got everybody. Anybody who's trying to get anything, do anything, Elon got all of their information. All of it. So I hope Trump and them threaten with Starlink. I hope they do. I hope they do it. And I hope Elon continues to drug out. And I hope they continue to fight. Because he knows where the bodies are buried. And this is a good thing. I don't see why both of them is trash. But this is a good thing that this is going on. And I don't see why, I just don't get why people, you don't know whether people's black or white, but why anybody would want the government to have that much control over their information. And another thing, their party doesn't, and you talk about town hall meetings, Google the fussing and the fighting that's been going on in the Republican town hall. The Democrats, they hold them, but they've been barely holding them. The fussing and fighting and people being tased and cussed out at the Republican town hall meetings. No, their constituents is turning. And all you have to do is Google this, do some research instead of just some people, instead of mysterious people just talking out the side of their ass and making up shit. Just completely making up shit. And the politicians are all going along because a lot of them thinking that they're going to lose their seats, which they will. They're going along because they're scared, and he got a fear thing going against all of them. That's why they put this crazy bill. They're all voting for this bill that's going to shoot the deficit up and cancel all of the different things that the country has. The administration has already cut. They don't even know how they're gonna prepare for hurricane season that's about to come up because they done cut and gutted that. Cancer research for children and for women, they have gutted all of that. And this is what the people wanted. The people didn't want this. They didn't want that. Even a lot of the hardcore Americans whose Mima and people got cancer and different things like that. But Mima and people and their great-grandkids who are going to Head Start, cutting all that stuff. They didn't want that. What type of a person that doesn't even research or doesn't even bother to Google what is actually going on? We are destroyed. The country is being destroyed. And as far as tariffs, Sarge, tariffs isn't going to bring business back to the United States. It's not going to bring manufacturing back to the United States. It's running it away. And I'm going to get into an article later from the Wall Street Journal, which is owned by MAGA supporter, saying that American car companies are thinking about some of the manufacturing. They're going to have to move out of the United States because of the things that they need. They have to get it from overseas. It's not going to bring manufacturing because the CHIPS Act was supposed to help that. And it's not being happened. You have to pay them. You have to subsidize if you want to bring that stuff back. They cut it all and just say, come back. It doesn't work like that. Capitalism does not work like that. And yes, the tariffs and the different things that the United States has done over the decades for some of these other countries, yes, we got it taken advantage of. But it was our offer. We offered it to the European, to all of the European countries after World War II. It was our offer. We put ourselves in this predicament that we are in. And then now it's blame, point fingers. And then you want to run out of, there's another stupid thing with the deportations. The only reason that they're cutting us down, I could sit and name a plethora of things that's being done to harm the Black community. and others, but because I'm black, I'm talking about our community. I can sit down here and just list them all. The things that has been cut and has been gutted to hurt our community. Because that's what white racist people want. The only reason that's the only way that they can do that is to hurt our community, because they can't deport us all out of here as of yet. So we just hurt them. That regime is about for white men. And unless there's a white man up here on that goddamn line, get it together. Learn something, get a clue. Unless you are a white man. DEI is for people of color and women, the disabled. It stands for a lot of different, the LGBTQ, a lot of different people that make up this damn country. This country, and they want to make it like that big march, I forget which state. They want America back to be. America was never a white nation, not even from its inception, because there were people here before the whites came. America was never a white nation, but you have these dingy-batty black MAGAs that wants to help uphold for them to uphold to try and turn it into a white nation. Take your ass back to Europe if you want white nations, and they're not all white anymore, but they started out that way. America was never an all-white nation. And you want to talk about democracy. There is no democracy when you will not allow other people to compete. And I can't believe black people are sitting up here trying to uphold the white man in this foolishness. There is no democracy. Don't bring up democracy when you will not allow other people fair ground, a level playing field to be able to compete. White men do not like competition. They feel that they should just have it all, rule it all, and then we have dumb dingo bat MAGAs going along with it. It's crazy, Tyrone. It's crazy. And I just don't understand how people get like this. How you get like this? You want a strong military size? Well, you need to have some of everybody in that. You need to have a diverse group in that. Some people are smarter, quicker, and smarter at the brain. Then you have some people that's all physical. This is shit they doing, sitting up there changing the names of the ships and the carriers and stuff from people who earned their fucking legacy in this damn country. Milk. You want to talk about him just because you don't like the LGBTQ? He earned his legacy. Thurgood Marshall, Harriet Tubman, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Well, I got some issues with her because she should have stepped her ass down when they were trying to get her to before, or when Obama had a chance to place somebody. But look who took her seat. But no, those people earned their place to have those things named after him. And yes, you have to have diversity, or white men would claim everything. So unless you come out on this phone as a white man, y'all sound dumb as hell. That's it, Tyrone. That's it.
Well, yeah,
I ain't no white man, so I get it.
Hey, she called me out. I should get to respond to that.
Oh yeah, you can respond, but I just want people to see the Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump party, and I'm playing it on the YouTube. And Howard, after Sarge responds, you can go after him. Go ahead, Sarge.
Well, no, let me go before him. I'm only going to be 30 seconds. Sarge, can I get 30 seconds, Sarge?
All right, Howard, go ahead, Howard. I want you whining all night. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you know, I tore your ass up the other day on that Doge shit. Stealing ass nigga.
Will you spit it out? You have to give you a laxative.
All right. All right. I just wanted to say, when Sister Lisa was talking about, the European countries and everything, it's mighty funny when they're dealing with only their own folk. They have all kind of government shit taking care of everybody. It's great. But when they deal with other people of other ethnicities and colors and things, then they get all kind of, like in the United States, and they get all kind of fucked up. You go to Denmark, all those, places like that. Sister Lisa, am I lying? Hey,
No, you ain't lying.
It's all gravy. They are not far right at all. They're very much on the left side of things. It's pretty crazy. I just wanted to say that when you were talking about what you were talking about, they damn sure will take care of all white people. If it's an all white situation, oh, it's kumbaya. But if it's other niggas come across the border and they got a little darker skin, all of a sudden those white people have sounders like Sarge and this other dude, Jabari, on the phone, who speak up for them to keep them out of our white country. Crazy to me. But that's all I had to say. Thanks.
It is crazy. It's craziness. It's nothing but craziness.
Come on now, you already said this. Let me respond, will you?
Go ahead.
All right, look here, man. Let me explain something to you. You guys' obsession with this word democracy, and you want to live in democracy, and we're problem with democracy. You better thank your lucky stars you don't live in a democracy. Because I guess, let me tell you what democracy is. The rule of the majority. Whatever the majority wants, the majority gets. They don't look for minority rights in a democracy, especially if the majority is against the minorities' rights. We live in a constitutional republic. No matter what happens, our Constitution protects the rights of people who could be considered minorities. For instance, nobody loves a child rapist. Nobody. Everybody would like to slowly strangle a child rapist in a pot of boiling water. I know I would. But guess what? Our Constitution says, no, you can't do that to them. I can't think of a worse minority, more hated minority than a child pedophile rapist. But yet still they have rights that are protected no matter what the majority wants. And the majority of the people, as you constantly call it, in this so-called racist country, didn't want to give black people, LGBTQ, or whomever your favorite oppressed victim of the month is, if they didn't want to give them rights, well, guess what would happen to them? They'd simply vote their rights away or negate them entirely. So be glad you don't live in a democracy. Next, you talk about this DEI shit. It ain't nothing but Marxism, Leninism in action. And the word that gives away the whole shebang is not necessarily diversity, because we know what kind of corrupt concept of diversity these goddamn Marxists got. We know what concept of inclusion they got, another warped concept from little communist heads. But it's that word equity, meaning engineered outcome. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what the facts, no matter what the law, no matter what the individual situation of the people involved is, you engineer an outcome to suit a predetermined intention. It is corrupt. It has no basis in our constitutional republic, and it needs to die and have a stake driven through its heart as a matter of principle. It is completely against the principles of the Constitution that this crazy man Tyrone says he's trying to defend. It is 100% against it in every respect, shape, form, and fashion. The 14th Amendment alone says it is. So I don't know where you guys get to look. If diversity was a strength in and of itself, diversity being the most important damn thing, then the Austro-Hungarian Empire would still be around. Yugoslavia would still be around. Diversity can be a positive liability if Marxists get a hold of it and use it for the purposes of dialectical materialism to put one group of people against another. It is a positive liability and a drawback and a detriment. And finally, as a combat veteran who got shot at and almost killed, I don't know how many times, the last thing in the world I want is a diverse or equitable leader. I want a good one. And I was fortunate enough to have good ones of all races. They were competent and they were good. I don't give a good goddamn how many women or how many blacks they got when I'm being led to maybe my death by an incompetent leader. The only thing I care about, are they good? Do they know their job? And do they look out for their men? That's the only thing that matters to me. And as far as I'm concerned, Pete Hegseth is making this armed forces lethal and efficient and reminding it what it is. The purpose of an army is to fight. Close with, engage, and destroy the enemy, and everything else is secondary to that.
Thank you.
All right.
Can I respond?
Well, just let me.
Thank you for
Hold on, Jabbar.
and this misled sister.
Hold on, Jabbar.
He didn't
Before Lisa
educate
goes,
anybody.
hold on.
Misled.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Billy first. Billy, man.
Okay, so guys, I just want to
misled.
Jabbar, calm your ass down. Listen, before we go on, I just want to let y'all know that Sarge once again redefined words, and that's not what the meaning of diversity is, and that's not the meaning of equity. But he redefined their words so he can actually say whatever the fuck that dumb shit was he just said. Those words does not mean what Sarge just said.
One of these days I'm gonna take you to an English class.
I did not talk. I let you talk, nigga. So damn, I'm just trying to share with the people so they won't be confused hearing your stupid ass talk. Equity is the quality of being fair and impartial. That's all equity means. Diversity is the state of being diverse, variety. That's all diversity means. All that other shit Sarge saying about equity being some type of agenda and all that ain't got shit to do with equity. But go ahead, Elisa.
No, I was just gonna say I've always supported the military. Nobody is misled. Tyrone stays with the people that flock to you. Anyway, I support the military. I always have. I was married to an officer. I've had plenty of them. I've had plenty of military in my family, my grandfather, and all of them per part, all that stuff. Okay, we had a Tuskegee Airman in the family, so I support the military. But see, Sarge, when white men wanted all white, and see, you won't address that. That is what they want. They wanted all white men. You may not be getting.
Okay, Sarge, hold on.
Allow me to finish. You may not be getting the best. There's probably people out there that could be better when you are out there getting ready to put your life on the line. There could be people that's better. Okay, check this. We'll take it back to World War II. Adolf Hitler, the generals and stuff that he had with the Blitzkrieg and all of that, he had generals, the ones that came up, implemented that, those things. That's why they was able to run roughshod through a lot of countries in the beginning. And he took the credit, basically. And if you know your World War II history, you know I'm telling the truth. He took the credit. Then when he started doing strategy.
Hold on, Sarge. Hold on, Sarge.
I didn't hear what you said.
Hitler took the bulk of the credit. When a lot of his generals, that one general who came up with the Blitzkrieg, and they was able to run roughshod over a lot of different countries. And when he started taking all the marble, I'm the greatest, and the people, I'm all this, I am all knowing. And he started with the strategizing a lot of it. And he started telling those who had far more experience and far more know-how. And the sad thing is, he didn't know he was driving them into a ditch. So when it comes to diversity, just because if you're going to put your life on the line, and go out there, maybe if there was some diversity, some other people were allowed and given a chance, then maybe you might have the best. And you might end up with the best. They're not saying just anybody, and Pete Hegseth does not know what he's doing. And you being a military man who is really all about that, come on. He couldn't even make it to the main show on Fox News. So, I mean, come on. You want the best. So that's why everybody has to be given a chance. I don't care if they're blue. You want the best minds, the best this and that to lead you. Especially since your life is in the hands of these leaders. But they didn't want to give blacks and other people and women and other minorities a chance to do a damn thing. And you know this about history. So I'm going to put my life on the line. Yeah, I want some diversity. Because to me, I want there to be diversity. Everybody has an equal playing field to be able to get a chance. Because you might get the best that there is instead of mediocre ass shit. And World War II proves it. Stalin did the same thing. We'll take it back to World War II. He got mad, killed off a lot of his generals, and this and that. And then when Germany turned on their ass, that's why they got caught off guard with listen, when people start believing their own thing. And that's Trump. And that's headset. And you know, white men want it all. And if you on this line, I'm gonna shut up. But if you on this line, we'll sit here and not admit through our history, white men wanted it all, and they didn't want to give anybody else a chance. That they don't like competition. So you can sit here and tell me you don't want there to be competition, so the best might get chosen. And y'all can't say that diversity doesn't. Everybody who was able to get involved to be able to get a chance of diversity, all of them will qualify. Not everybody, but for the most part, they will qualify to do the damn job. If that's what I want, if I'm having surgery, I want to know that the smartest and the best out here was able to be given a chance to go to medical school. Not just white men, because they don't know everything.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Wait a minute, hold on. Jabbar wanted to say something. Wait a minute, hold on, Sarge. Sarge, hold on. Jabbar wanted to say something. Joshua, I see you.
I won't repeat myself, I promise.
Okay,
no,
well,
let Sarge go ahead.
Okay, well, no, Sergeant going. Joshua gonna go. Go ahead, Joshua.
So.
Okay, Joshua.
Okay, now hold on. Now this is my point. That shit that Sarge said, that was. I mean, I was sitting here hearing him talk. I was just cringing. But it's for the shit he just said out of his mouth. If in fact, if it was not for the black soldier, America would be shit today. That's a fact. It was the black soldier who changed the course of battles in history here in America. The Civil War on up to Vietnam changed the course on how battles went. It was the black soldiers. Okay? The Tuskegee Airmen was so great in the air. White soldiers said, we want them to lead us. We want them to guard us. We want them to fly with us. Okay? If it was not for the black soldier right now in his grave, if there's a such thing, he's right now, he's in his grave, he just turning, hearing Sarge talk.
He sure is. He sure is.
So the black soldier has been disrespected by Trump and that devil, Elon Musk, has disrespected the black soldier. So I'm saying, to hear these dudes, and the dude on the phone who I don't know is talking about weak men, you don't know me, bro, at all. So keep your thought process that you don't know me, just keep it just the way it is. I don't know you. I didn't say you were weak or nothing like that. I don't even know you from Adam. I never heard you talk. So again, understand your history and understand that the fact that the black soldier is the most valuable soldier in American history, period. And don't get it wrong, I'm not patriotic at all about this country. I can't stand this shit. But one thing I will do, I will give the black soldier credit because they're the one that changed the course of history. Black soldiers came home and got lynched. They came home and got lynched for this shit. Okay? Diversity, we need a sense of diversity in this country. We need a sense of equity in this country. Okay? White men ain't worth the damn. He done proved to history he can't do it by himself. He done proved that. And if you just want to look around, he proved that he can't do this shit by himself. He ain't intelligent enough to do that.
He can't.
So that's what I got to say about that, Tyrone. But again, man, we gotta, again, like I say, I'm in a mood with me where I'm starting to eliminate dudes who come and talk dumb shit. I'm tired of talking dumb shit to dudes. This is insane. Weak men, Jabbar, weak men talk like Sarge. That's a weak man, as far as I'm concerned. He's an elder who I should be respecting, but I can't even respect him for the shit he
You don't
says.
mean a goddamn word you're saying.
Okay. So I'm saying, Okay, so I'm saying I can't respect him like an elder because
Please don't respect me. Make your goddamn point.
Okay, now if you shut up, I can get finished. So that's what I had to say.
That'll never happen the way you babble.
Hold on. Listen, sorry, you're an idiot. You was in the Vietnam War, and
can I speak for myself?
Okay, I'm speaking right now. I'm going to let you speak. That war in particular, like Lisa and Joshua is alluding to, was one of the first American wars where like more black people was drafted, and you was part of that crowd. I don't know if you volunteered or drafted.
I didn't get drafted. I enlisted.
Okay, let me finish. You was drafted. You wasn't drafted, but the point is that the American military needed diversity, and that's why they drafted and had more black people allowed to volunteer than any other point in time in history. While you're speaking against diversity, the same military that you served in was embracing diversity during the time that you served. You goddamn idiot. And it says here that black Americans were more likely to be drafted than white Americans. The Vietnam War saw the highest proportion of African American soldiers in the U.S. military up to that point, though they comprising 11% of the population in 1967. The African Americans were 16% of the draftees. So they were seeking diversity. They were seeking black men to join the army. Now, I got my own theories on why that was. That's because white men were lazy and scared to go to war, and they started drafting black people. But the point is, they did their duty and they served, and the military was looking for diversity. Now, you can go ahead.
All right, thank you, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a point here. First of all, let's get one thing straight. As someone who has studied the history of black people in the United States Armed Forces, he'll tell you the units and the names and what they were. The Tuskegee Airmen were not an example of DEI. In every single aptitude test, in every single performance test that the United States Army Air Force gave to black fighter squadrons and fighter groups in World War II, they scored near the top. They were not DEI. They did not need an affirmative action quota. They met the requirements. The same thing was true for the 761st Tank Battalion, which Patton asked for when he was looking for more independent tank battalions to replace the losses he had suffered in the breakout campaign from Normandy and the assault on the Siegfried Line. He needed armored units that were capable and had proven themselves aptitude-wise that were still in the States. One of the ones he asked for immediately was the 761st because he saw their training record. They weren't DEI. They were fully qualified. The same thing with the 614th Tank Destroyer Battalion. Every one of those units met or exceeded training requirements set down by the United States Army Air Force and United States Army Ground Forces. Now, when you come talking about Hitler, and Hitler, what he did in World War II, combined arms was not exclusively developed by the German army, although they were probably the most important progenitor of combined arms tactics. There were people like Little Hart in Great Britain, Adna Chaffee in the United States, and of course Erwin Rommel and Heinz Guderian in Germany. All of these men together, with their writings, contributed to the idea of combined arms operations, which first became known to the world as Blitzkrieg. And Hitler did not try to take concept for developing Blitzkrieg. He took credit for accepting Erich von Manstein's intent to reprise the Schlieffen Plan, not do what they did in World War I, but to attack the French where they didn't expect the Ardennes force and outflank the Maginot Line. So let's just get that straight as a matter of history. Now,
all right, so hold on.
Wait a minute. You talk about diversity being important, and diversity is important. There's the one good thing about diversity. It gives you a wider pool of qualified applicants to pick from. But in and of itself, when it's being run by these left-wing progressives and the way they run it, it's a liability. Because their primary goal is to get diversity up there, not qualifications, not aptitude, not anything that has to do with being a good soldier or a competent soldier. No, they just want the faces up there. That's all they care about, over and above almost every other quality. That's the problem with it. Diversity can be good if you manage it properly. But the way these leftists do it, it's a positive hindrance. George Q. Brown, who was the last chief of staff that Trump fired, his personal qualifications were superb. He had all the requisite commands, the requisite training. His scores were high. He'd been to the staff war colleges. He was completely qualified. But the problem with the fool was he was all wedded to this diversity, equity, and inclusion program. He rejected the very things that he was. So, Blinky, I know what I'm talking about. I've seen it in action. And I know how fucked up it is.
Okay, so wait, hold on for a minute. When this man is saying that the tank battalion and the Tuskegee Airmen wasn't diversity,
they weren't DEI is what I said.
Okay,
they were fully qualified in every respect.
Okay, this is why I mute you, because I know I was just started talking. Okay, whenever Sarge
don't mischaracterize my argument, because that's why I gotta yell at you. You never get it right.
Okay, you're still doing it. Okay, whenever Sarge said that the airmen and the tanks wasn't diversity, equity, and inclusion, that is not true, because the fact that they were black, they weren't in the majority of white tankers, and they weren't majority of white pilots, that made them diverse by default. Now, whenever Sarge is saying they're not DEI in today's standard, that's because they are using DEI in today's standard to say nigga. That's what they're using it for. They're using it. Sarge just said it. He said that somehow another diversity means a black face or whatever. That is not what the fuck it means.
I did not say that.
Okay, I'm gonna have
Tyrone, he didn't say that, Tyrone. Tyrone, what you're missing?
What part of when y'all speak, I don't say shit, and when y'all speaking, y'all always got to correct me. Bitch, I got my own goddamn mind, and I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. God damn. Now let me finish. God damn. Stop that. Jabari, and please, Sarge, can you please, Jabari, remove your head from Sarge's posterior? I don't know what the fuck is what kind of love fest y'all got going on, but god damn. You know what? I don't.
Can I make a comment?
Listen, shut up. Let me just say this right quick. I'm gonna let Lisa talk. The Tuskegee Airmen and the black people that serve were diverse. That's just a fact. The Donald Trump first got in office, he took their fucking photos down and out of Air Force training because of that goddamn reason, Sarge. We sit up here and we reported on it. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. That's the reason that he took the damn pictures down and he told the Air Force not to train about them no goddamn more because of goddamn DEI. That's what the fuck happened. Your fucking president did that. Now, Elisa, you can go ahead.
You wait a minute, Tyrone. Let me. Can I say something about what Sarge said? The point that you're missing. The one key word that you missed that Sarge said was qualified. There's nothing wrong with diversity as long as the people who are put in the positions are qualified.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that point up because Sarge nor you don't have any evidence of anybody getting relieved from their position, fired, and told that they are not qualified. Y'all cannot prove that they aren't qualified. As a matter of fact, you have a Supreme Court justice, Ketanji Jackson or whatever her name is. I'm sorry I messed it up. That y'all say are DEI. Y'all say that Supreme Court justice is DEI. You are the same idiots that said Kamala Harris was DEI. Kamala Harris is more qualified than anybody that has ran for goddamn president before. She is more qualified than any fucking white fucking man that has shut the fuck up, nigga. You said she the qualification, nigga. Kamala Harris is qualified than any fucking white man that had ever ran for that goddamn office before. So there's your goddamn qualification, Jabari. Whenever you're talking about firing these heads of agencies, these generals and all that kind of bullshit, they have went through whatever the fuck they went through to get into those positions as African Americans. So they are way more than qualified, you fucking idiots. Y'all taking white supremacist talking points and you bringing it over here, and you think you're making valid points when you saying that these people are getting relieved because they're not qualified. But what y'all are forgetting as black people in this goddamn country is we got to work 10 times as hard as anybody else on this in this goddamn country to achieve the positions that we be in. So they are way more than qualified. Nigga, you know how much harder I had to work than white people to get shit? Motherfuckers in this country black people have always had to be overqualified to get the same positions, you motherfuckers. Look at Barack Obama. What the fuck is y'all? Barack Obama is 80 times more qualified than Donald Trump has ever been. So don't come talking to me about no goddamn qualifications, you fucking coon-ass niggas. Jesus Christ.
Man, you don't listen to goddamn things. That would piss me off about you. I don't say none of that shit. And
Tyrone,
you didn't say one goddamn
Tyrone?
thing accurate about the arguments that I actually made. Not one single goddamn thing.
Hey,
I
Tyrone,
say
can I
again,
say something?
Charles Q. Brown was not a DEI hire. He himself personally was highly qualified. He had all the requisite command positions, all the requisite training, schooling, and education. He was highly qualified to be chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff. The problem with him was he was a full-blown, all-out advocate for DEI, for quotas for white officers, and he wanted to promote DEI throughout the armed forces. That was the problem with him. And when it comes to flag officers, the president doesn't even need a reason for firing them. All he's got to say is he doesn't want them because he doesn't think they fit his particular vision of what the armed forces ought to be, even if they're highly qualified. That's the president's call, whether you like it or not.
Go ahead, Joshua. This guy's an idiot.
Tyrone, I was supposed to rebuttal real quick,
Okay.
Joshua. As far as the Tuskegee Airmen, they were dealing the impact on the military in integration. They were dealing with integration. The Tuskegee Airmen performance helped pave the way for eventual desegregation, because the military desegregation of the U.S. military in 1948, demonstrating that African Americans were capable of serving with a distinction. Now, diversity and inclusion. Allow me to finish. Diversity and inclusion. The Tuskegee Airmen were not a product of a formal diversity and inclusion program, as those initiatives did not exist in the 1940s. Sarge is right. Their segregated unit was not an example of inclusion because they were segregated. They were not included. There was no inclusion going on. They were segregated. As it was a product of segregation, not a deliberate effort. It was part of segregation. It was not a deliberate effort to include them. They wasn't trying to include them. They needed them. While this story can be a lesson in diversity and inclusion, it is crucial to understand that their initial training and service were within segregated systems. So you are right about that. But when they got back home, a lot of them weren't treated the same. Now, I know you found a way to find some little off-brand story to make that fit. And as far as Adolf Hitler, he did take all the glory. I said he didn't take all the credit. He took all the glory. As one of the greatest strategists that there ever was. And he started believing
das alles Zeitung. That's what he called himself.
Yes, and when he started believing his own stink, is when the mistakes really started. And when he started coming out, well, we're going to do this and trying to be the strategist, it's when the mistakes.
He didn't take credit for the blitzkrieg concept. That was a tactical concept. He took credit for the strategic concept that led to the fall of France.
Did you not hear what I said? He took all the glory.
I
didn't say credit. The glory. He took all of the glory. And that's when you start believing. But when you start believing your own stink is when you start making mistakes.
Well, that's different. I agree with you.
Yeah, but come on, let me just ask you. We're not going to go back and forth over that. Did not throughout history and even now, white men want everything. I'll tell you that.
You ever heard of Idi Amin Dada? You might have checked his
I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about white men. This is throughout history. And even to current, we're not talking about Idi Amin. We're not talking about Mao either. We're talking about white men.
You just want to talk about white men.
No, we're talking about white men and what's happening in this country right now.
Black men to do the same thing.
Yes, they probably would, but they not in charge of shit. I'm asking you. I'm talking about something specific. Talking about America. Talking about throughout history. Does not white men want to control and be in charge of everything? They do not like competition. They don't like competition. They don't like competition.
Men tend to want to do that, whatever their race is. I kind of noticed that pattern throughout history. Really.
But we're not talking about Idi Amin. We're not talking about Mao.
No, you're not.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about
narrative.
No, we're not. We can talk about them in a different discussion, but that's not what we're talking about.
All you ever talk about is
See,
white
that's what you do, Charles. When somebody bring up
you want an incomplete education, is that it?
No. I'm familiar with Idi Amin. No, I don't have an incomplete education. I'm very familiar with Mao. I'm very familiar with Mao. I'm very familiar with Idi Amin. But I'm not talking about them right now.
I know you're not. You never do. Just say white man.
You don't brought them up. No, that's who I was talking about.
She has an inferiority complex.
Well, let Joshua finish before you go.
Sarge, what kind of you?
Why are you so obsessed with race? That's my question for you. You're literally obsessed with it.
I'm not obsessed. I'm not. Shut up. Who is this?
You're one-sided conversation.
No. Because we're talking about the Trump administration. That's what we're talking about. You're trying to bring in Idi Amin, Mao, and all of these different people. Then you got a
how about Charles Q. Brown? Can we talk about Charles Q. Brown, man? He was chief of staff.
We're not talking. We're talking about the Trump administration.
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's what you do. This is what you do.
All right.
In order to try to win a conversation, you start bringing in all these other types of things. I'm used to that. I'm not talking about the points I raised.
All right. You're not addressing.
You can bring up Shaka Zulu if you want to.
Yeah, it's a red herring.
And I will counter it every time.
It's a red herring. And I'm not obsessed with race. I'm the main one over here telling everybody that we have to have the different races to be allies. That is one thing I'm not obsessed with.
I mean,
race.
He has an issue when black people talk about race, but I didn't hear him say one motherfucking word when Donald Trump said that he don't want immigrants in this goddamn country, but wants to bring white South African immigrants to this goddamn country. That is shut the fuck up, nigga. You gonna have to shut the fuck up because you got a problem with black people calling out fucking race on white people, but Donald Trump is sitting up in that goddamn Oval Office in the highest position on the goddamn planet being racist by saying white South Africans can come to America, get reparations, and you ain't say a goddamn thing about that. That is so goddamn racist. You ain't say a motherfucking thing. So will you shut the fuck up and stop trying to correct people for accurately reminding you and the rest of the world that this is a goddamn racist ass country? This conversation that we're having, you're defending racism by saying you're okay with them getting rid of DEI, diversity. Your motherfucking ass was a diversity hire in the Army, you fucking idiot.
You're a goddamn liar. In the top 5% of my class at Armor Non-Commissioned Officer School. You're a goddamn lie. I wasn't no fucking DEI.
Joshua, go ahead. I'm going to get Joshua to speak.
When I tell you what it is.
After the DEI soldiers stop talking.
Africans last week.
After the DEI soldiers, Sarge, can you shut?
You doing nothing.
After the DEI soldiers stop talking, Joshua, you can go.
Okay, now look.
I talked about it all last week about South Africa. You didn't listen to me, did you?
Now, Tyrone,
go ahead.
Get this goddamn horrible pit bull. Look, my point is this. Arbitrarily, no one on here said that the Tuskegee Airmen was DEI. We never said that.
Nobody.
You brought up,
Nobody.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. You brought that up. I've met Tuskegee Airmen in person. None of them has ever said DEI to me. The three that I met, that they're dead now. But none of them said DEI. None of them. They talk about racism in the military. They talk about that, how racist the military was, but they never said DEI. Yeah. And they were good. Yeah, great. Flyers, pilots, fighters. They were great. Had no problem once they got in it. Had no problem at all. Okay? So my point is, see, and this is the thing that kills me, that gets me about a bunch of black men. I mean, we get dudes on here, they call each other weak. But you get dudes on here who continue to defend the oppressor. Period. Now, some of you Negroes are so high and mighty and think you're better than the black people, don't even consider that no more. I'm better. I'm better than them. I'm better than that nigga over there. I'm better. Yeah, you ain't shit.
Who black
because
people you know like that?
As quick as you're saying that, as quick as them dudes are trying to eradicate your own history right in front of your eyes, we're looking at a new lost cause in history. We're looking at a new lost cause in history. They're trying to rewrite the history again and erase us out of the books like we never even existed. That we didn't contribute nothing to never contribute to nothing in America. And see, and some of us are so brainwashed, we can't believe that they're doing it. No, it can't be. No, they doing it right in front of you. They doing it right in front of you. And nobody ain't saying nothing about it who should be saying something about it. Ain't saying shit about it. What about some other shit? What about Idi Amin? That shit, he's dead. Stop talking about Idi Amin. That man's dead. Now say Tonga's dead. What about them for? Matter of fact, at least Idi Amin, when he woke up, he fought against his oppressor. That's a fact. When he woke up, he fought against his oppressor, and he fought against those who side with the oppressor. So, Sarge, if you met Idi Amin and he heard you talk the way you talk about black folks in America, he said, that motherfucker got to go.
Yeah, he served me up on a dinner plate.
Okay, now, so my point is this. So, Tyrone, man, I'm telling you, with these weak-ass black men around here today, this is why our community so fucked up. We got motherfuckers around here.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
We got motherfuckers around here. Hold on. You got motherfuckers around here who want to continue to rub the white man's crack in his ass. Lick it, all that shit.
Sarge is like licking.
So I'm saying that this is why, in some cases, our women tend to do us the way they do us. Because we get motherfuckers around here that will defend that shit. Keep defending white supremacy like it's normal. No, that's not normal. Your ancestors fought, Sarge and Jabbar. They fought. They said, no, we're not taking it.
Jabbar wasn't even here in the 1900s. He don't know shit. Jabbar's fucking reading books.
So that's what I got to say,
Jabbar
Tyrone. I'm done with this stuff, man. I'm done.
All right. Polite, but he ain't
Jay,
shit.
New York, what's
Jabbar,
happening, man?
I'm just saying, Jabbar's
Hey,
polite
Jay.
as shit. Nah, hey, respect to everybody. Jabbar, and even respect to Jabbar and how he speaks, but his mentality and ideology is fucking is wrecked up. So again, he speaks politely, is great, and respect to Jabbar on that note. But Jabbar, go back to the books And you scrap the books. Look at the actions of what people are actually doing in this day and age. I mean, you can see what's going on. I mean, again, I guess in life, what I notice is that some people, well, that's some people. I say in general, you could look things one way or another, and we're all gonna always be in that type of mindset. It's either this way or that way. Sometimes it's in the middle. Okay, cool, but it's either this way or that way. And some people are just, for the most part, are programmed one way or another, whether it be me or the other, looking the other way. And I just say that, I just think that in this time that we have seen so much things happen in actions, that we will be much more smart and intelligent, to speak about these topics and things that's happening and affecting us, and to improve. It's one thing to talk, but then to improve the situation, the mechanisms of what things has been, because we all know that there's certain things that's messed up that need to be fixed, and yet, we still here, and I think that as a whole, whether it be Americans, black community, white community, or a whole of the earth, it hinders and brings our, progress slower to what we need to be because of all this extra shit that we don't need to deal with. And I just see it's a sad situation. Again, the most economical, progressive country in the world, with all the different dynamics that it has, yet is falling behind on certain things, and again, as we think that we know everything, we don't know shit because we're still falling behind in things. And I just hope that, these ignorant people that's in control of power and have, the dynamics to kind of make things move a little bit better should realize that and hope, if you're talking about America making it great, you have to empower Americans. And we're talking about Americans from all backgrounds. If not, we're just going to fail. If you think it's just going to be Caucasian white people, they're not up to fit to the issue. Obviously, they can't fulfill every issue. They can't fulfill every job. We see this happening in the, throughout the world. So I'm just saying that, just because you're white, everything ain't right. And just because it's black, it doesn't lack. So I'm just saying that you have to be open, more minded, and human beings and what they could bring to the table, and also how you minimize the education and opportunities for those people to be able to expand their mind, to be able to contribute to this earth, as a whole. Whether you think that you're a nationalist or not. But at the end of the day, we're living in a world of several people surrounded by, borders and waters and things like that. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to get everything done by yourself. I'll leave it there.
Tyrone, can I say something when
Yes,
you
ma'am.
finish?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say, as far as Tuskegee Airmen, when I first started this, we have one in my family. My mom and grandmama's first cousin. I can prove it. I don't post my family and things like that, but I can send it to Tyrone if anybody needs proof. Put family pictures and all of that, and who he is. I can do that if anybody needs proof. But I don't think I have to do all of that.
Hey, come in.
We should sit and listen to. Huh?
What's there? Well, you brought some food back? You brought some food back?
Oh, Jay talking to somebody
Oh, he's
else.
talking to somebody. Oh, and so the thing is, as far as like Sarge, you said that I am so obsessed with race. I have been the main one over here for the longest time because I sometimes some things that Tyrone I don't agree. Like when we were talking about what's going on in the country right now, we need everybody. We need MAGA. We need everybody if we want things to be able to survive. I've always been, because of our numbers here and things like that, we need allies. We need the whole world to stop this race stuff that it's all. I've never been about, Darwin probably can tell you, are very blackety black. Everything is blackety black, black, black. So I resent that you put that on me because I don't think that that's how the world is going to be able to heal itself. We got to get off this blackly black. Now, do I think race is a social construct? A lot of people believe that. I don't necessarily believe that or buy into that, but I get where they're coming from. I'm not race obsessed. I'm the first one to tell them, no, when I see black people put up stuff, we invented this, we started, no, we didn't do everything. No, we didn't. Other people did some things too. So I just wanted to put that out here that I resented that. But I will call out racism. And the United States is a very racist, always been a very racist country. And and it's getting worse now. And why anybody can't see that and will sit here and try to champion that stuff on when they are basically trying to dismantle your community is absolutely crazy. We need everybody. That's why I'm about diversity. And if you don't want diversity in the military, then let a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs lead you out to war. That's my thing. Then let that be. But we need diversity in this country. We need diversity. I'm into this. We need diversity on this planet. We need that.
All right.
Black people didn't do everything. Other people did things too.
Okay, let's go back to the Let's go back to the Tuskegee Airmen again. The United States Army Air Force did not want them. It was forced upon them. They didn't want that diversity in there. In fact, when they were forced to bring them in, and they formed them up as a fighter squadron and later a fighter group, the Army Air Force was determined to relegate them to coastal patrol duties and anti-submarine patrol duties. They didn't want them committed to a combat theater. They literally had to fight to get there, and one of the things they showed in order to get assigned to a combat theater, among other reasons, was their outstanding training record, which would rank among, not the highest, but among the higher in the United States Army Air Force. By every objective metric that you can ascribe a fighter squadron to be qualified, they met and exceeded all of the training requirements. They were not DEI. They did not need DEI to be ranked a qualified fighter group. That's the point I'm trying to make. It is insulting to compare them in any way to DEI candidates. They didn't need it.
Okay. Nobody did. But listen, what you just said. Wait a minute. Let me say this right here. Sarge just said they did not want that diverse group in there. You just said that, and that was my point. Is that they were diverse? Do you understand that? Because they were a black air fucking goddamn company or whatever they call them, squadron. They were diverse, Sarge. At that time, they were diverse. Like today, the DEI that you guys are talking about, no, they won't no part of that shit. But they were diverse, just like that tank battalion you talked. They was diverse, so they. You said they wanted that diversity in there. God damn, you just said it, nigga.
I'm trying to explain to you, the Army didn't want no damn diversity.
Okay.
Not in combat, they didn't. They wanted to relegate black troops to stevedore, quartermaster, stewards, all that kind of thing. They didn't want them in combat units.
Okay, so what I'm trying to, I muted you this time, but what I understand is going on with you is you just denying the core definition of words to make your point. Because whenever you're talking about diverse in a majority right military or Air Force, when you're talking about diversity and you put a black squadron in there, that is diverse. That is diversity, because the rest of the people are another race. So you just want to argue that they're not DEI, and nobody said they was. They were diverse units at that damn time. God damn. I don't know what the fuck you trying to do.
Tyrone, real quick. I sent you the pictures. Tyrone, I sent you the pictures. Don't share them. I just wanted you to verify. You know what my mom looked like, right? I posted pictures of her. Okay. That's her and him, and who he is. Don't say his name. And that was at our family reunion and one of the celebrations that they did for the last remaining of the Tuskegee. So don't share them. Don't say his name. I just want you to see this so you can say, yeah, she's telling the truth.
Okay, yeah, she's telling the truth. I see them. And they all passed away now, huh?
Yeah, I think all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's only 2 left. I think.
No, I think the last one passed away.
There's none.
Not long ago. I guess I can Google.
Well, anyway, the thing of it is I think it's insulting to call them DI. They were not DI. They were fully qualified
No one
to be.
said DI.
No one said that. I was saying that was that verse for the time.
We don't need to ever say that again. We don't ever need to associate them with DEI. They have nothing to do with DEI.
No one said that. We never said that.
I want to make sure we don't.
Okay, you're preaching to the goddamn choir. You just want to argue about some shit. Hey, Mama,
yeah,
boy,
you
what's
want to
up?
argue about it because you
What
guys
up,
seem to be
Tyrone?
ignoring
What up, man? What up, family? Hey, Sister Lisa. Hey, Sarge, dipshit. Hey, everybody. I just I chimed in, been listening for a few minutes, and I'm not going to, I know y'all might jump on me, but I'm not going to call Sarge a liar right now. But there's something that is omitted, that he omitted in his long dissertation about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Hold on, Sarge. Hold on.
Oh, you
God damn, man. Get off the fucking ledge, Sarge.
It irritates me when he does that shit. You know, goddamn
I don't give a fuck you irritated. Eat a dick.
I don't give a fuck about you not liking it either. Fuck you too.
But I wanted to bring this one point up, Tyrone. The Tuskegee Airmen, Sarge made a point, but he didn't. I don't know if it was omission or not. But if I know history correctly, the white boys was losing the fucking war. That's how the Tuskegee Airmen got their notoriety for winning the war, because the white boys was getting their asses kicked, and the Tuskegee Airmen, they had to put them out there because they had no one left. There was nobody else to do the job. They wasn't gonna never put the Tuskegee out. God damn it, I can't talk. Motherfucker got to get all in his feelings and cut me off.
That's not true.
Sarge, can you please let him finish and then you can speak afterwards?
God,
Nobody
you don't know
corrects
how to have a decent conversation.
Nobody corrects you in the middle of your lying, so you're gonna have to wait, Sarge. Just wait.
Yeah, let me.
You know how many fighter groups are in the United States Army Air Force and the European
and they wasn't getting the goddamn job done. And they wasn't getting the job done. That's how the Tuskegee Airmen ended up getting the job done, because them white boys, the so-called real DEI, right? Because if you really look at the numbers, all the DEI hires was white women. That was the most. Okay? Now, when you go back, I'm not talking about the Air Force. I'm talking about the phrase DEI, keep up and shut up. Now, Tyrone, the black men had to show the world that the white man was wrong. And you know how it happened? By happenstance. Because the white men wasn't getting it done. They've been in charge of the war. And that's the whole reason why the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because America, the so great army, was getting their asses whooped.
I can't believe this shit.
Getting their goddamn asses whooped. So America said, fuck that, and dropped 2 big ass bombs in Japan, and that's what ended the war.
Yeah. Hey, can I say something?
Oh my God, you're just making history up now.
Mama's boy, can I say something?
No, wait a minute, hold on. Mama's boy got a pen. Mama boy got a point. Japan was a bad motherfucking goddamn military.
Yes, they were.
You got to stop. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
was, Tyrone.
They was something fierce now.
I used to work with a guy, Tyrone, at when I lived in California, named Ed Shimasaki. He was Japanese. He said, Anthony, he said, the Japanese soldiers were some bad motherfuckers. He said, the only reason why we lost, they got us, because they dropped that bomb on us. If they had never dropped that bomb on us, we'd have fucked them up. And they knew it. That's why they dropped that bomb on us.
Yeah, it was that. Hey, Joshua, I'm just going to add into what you're saying. You can continue. Just don't forget about the kamikaze. That's the unseen, unaccounted for. The reason why Japan was kicking so much ass, because of the kamikaze pilot.
Yeah. And that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that from Vietnam. I mean, Vietnamese have said that about the Vietnam War. They said, I talked to a young lady who her great grandfather was a Viet Cong. She said, no, Aunt. We were talking. I said, well, I told her, I said, I know for a fact the Viet Cong was kicking ass. She said, first she got quiet. She just looked at me. Then she said, you're right. I said, yeah, you don't got to be afraid of me because I'm not down with none of this American shit. So I'm telling you, the Viet Cong was kicking ass.
They were because America lost that damn war. Y'all sorry, you can say whatever.
They lost the tax.
So you can say whatever you want to. I know you was involved in that war.
Yeah, he can say something, but about he could get into it. He could get into it. But World War II, the European part of it was over. That part of it was over. That theater was over. And then, but they were still, the Japanese did not want to surrender. They were down to the last. They had the last of the men, the women, the children. They were going to do it. And along with the United States, sorry, you stop me if I'm wrong, the United States, along with Stalin, they were going to do a ground invasion. And they said, screw it. And they dropped it. And then the Japanese still, but the part of the problem was they did not want, you was going to talk about thousands more lives they were going to win it. The United States and with the Allies, they were going to win that part of the theater. But you're talking about the amount of lives that was still going to be lost because the Japanese had the children out there. They had dropped all this propaganda thing. They had the children out there getting it together, out there, getting ready to fight everything. And they looked at the amount of lives they were going to lose, even though they were going to win it, because Stalin had already promised to come from one side, this, that. So they was like, screw it. They want to test the bomb anyway. So they was like, screw it. We're going to put it into that. But it wasn't the Japanese, the Japanese was not going to win that. Even if they did the ground war. Because they were out of it. They were out of energy. They were out of oil. They had just about all of their whole them kamikaze pilots, and they were just about out of pilots. They were just about out of planes, but they weren't going to stop. So it's either we lose a certain amount more Americans, even though we're going to win this, or we just end it now. Sorry, stop me if I'm wrong.
My point was this. But my
Thank
point
you
was
for that explanation. Finally, a rational explanation.
Let me say this. Point was just
Lisa. Thank you.
And the fact was this. That was also a war that America didn't really have nothing to do with because that was against Japan and China. That they had issues with each other. America had to jump in the shit. America wanted to show that they was a bully and go over there and fuck with them. And Japan went over there and fuck. I think they did. They sunk a shit. I believe that's what happened. And so they really didn't have nothing to do with that fight between Japan and China. That was their thing.
But the Japan got involved at Pearl Harbor. Japan at Pearl Harbor, and they sank more than just one ship.
No. Yeah, but Lisa, they attacked Pearl Harbor because America made a threat to Japan about fighting China. They were like, what the fuck do I got to do with it? This is between us. So America
and they cut off their oil, off, which was going to really cripple them. They cut their oil off.
Yeah. So that's my point about the whole Japan and China thing. Like I said, I've met one of the blessings that I did get out of living in California. I met some very interesting people. I have. From the Viet Cong, the daughter who her great grandfather was a Viet Cong, from talking with Japanese people out there who I consider, my friends, who I talk to a lot about the internment camps, etc. Matter of fact, he was the one that showed me his letter when they got the $20,000. It was Ed said, Anthony, check my letter out. I read the letter, and they gave me about the $20,000. He said, the fucked up thing, Anthony. He said they didn't pay y'all. They should have paid y'all. I said, you right about that, Ed. So, but the point is that again, that we here don't understand the ins and outs of truly of what happened and some of these histories that we talk about. We think it was all about America and their propaganda. that they made Japan look like they're the bad guy. Japan really wasn't the bad guy. They just told America stay on.
Wait a minute now. Hold on, Joshua. Japan.
Wait a minute now.
Japan. Wait a minute now, Joshua. Japan was going around this damn planet fucking up shit for no goddamn reason.
They was whooping ass.
But hold on. I'm saying
and committing atrocities and stuff.
Look, no, but I'm saying this. Japan would never start no shit with America, period. They would never start shit with America, period. So whatever issues that Japan had with China and other, that was their shit. That was their nonsense. That wasn't something that America should even got involved with. See, so that's where I'm coming from. You see, about that. Now, China has an issue with Japan. They still got issues with Japan. I met a young lady, the Japanese woman who I was talking to, a Japanese lady. She told me one day in the store. She said, "Oh, they don't like us." I said, "Look, it was Chinese." She said that they don't like us. I said, "Oh," and then she explained to me. And I said, and some of what she explained to me, I already knew. I said, "Oh yeah, you're right." He said, I said, "You know what? But I didn't know they didn't dislike you." He said, "Oh no, they can't stand." He said that they never got along like that.
Well, no, they don't like they don't like each other. Who's this unknown caller? I just opened your line. Who is this?
Man, listen, what's going on? Good evening.
Peace, Jay. What up, Jay?
To the family. What's good?
Yeah.
But Japan was doing some awful things. Y'all hear about Mingler and them. They was around here doing experiments on Chinese people, and they were doing a lot. They were out here cutting it up.
Well,
and they had to be stopped.
They were wrong to jump on China. They were wrong for that. They were wrong to go into China and do what they did. And China, and that's why China is the way it is today about people. That's why they just the way they are, because they said, okay, y'all got us. They said, so what China did, they did what? They cut them phones off from the world. It's okay. We cut, and now look at them. They came back and said, now look at us now. Not even Japan messed with. See,
thanks to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is making China more powerful than ever.
Yeah. Iran too, Tyrone. Don't leave them out.
Yeah. Same thing with Germany. If Israel was so tough, they go after Germany. They jump on Germany. But guess what? Germany probably said, come with it. Because we know you don't like us either. Okay? Come with it. That's already been said to Israel. The Germans told us, well, come with it then. They said, we ain't Gaza. Okay,
I just wanted to say one thing sort of off topic. Y'all can get right back on it, but Indiana stole a game out of OKC in the last minute. It's crazy. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah,
it was like, I'm talking about baby seconds. I'm talking about like within 2 seconds, Halliburton hit the game winner. Pop. Left 0.3 on the clock. It's a wrap.
Wow.
And they was down the whole entire game, at least 10 points. The whole entire game. I think number 5, whatever his fucking name is, he should be player of the game because he kept Indiana in the game. With his defense, with his hustle, with bro. Because Halliburton, he was almost quiet the whole damn game, but he did hit the game winner. He did hit the last shot. He clutched up. And Gildress, SGA, he folded. He missed the shot before Halliburton hit the game winner. He missed a easy 10-footer right off the edge of the lane. His wheelhouse. That's where he make his money.
I told you the Knicks was gonna lose. Y'all kept talking about Knicks. All y'all Knicks lovers, and I'm from New York. I knew they were gonna lose. I'm just saying.
Y'all can blame me on basketball to LeBron. That's the only reason why I'm paying attention, because I wanted to see LeBron fail.
Michael Jordan was not in the way of anybody in the Knicks these couple of years. I just don't know what to say. I just say Knicks got a curse of orange and blue, just like the Mets.
Oh man, that's that goddamn Brunson. Brunson stayed to it in his bag too much. He gotta do a couple of dribbles. This nigga's always good. Man.
Was he a good coach? Or, I'm saying, y'all speaking on sports terms.
I think he was. I think he was
good.
I think he was good, but he didn't rein Brunson in.
Good enough.
He got him there. I don't think they should have fired him.
They were acting like he done fucked up their whole shit the whole year, and I mean he's probably the closest to getting there. Shit, what was it, Pat Riley? Motherfucking even I think they get the Lakers up in there, the Lakers coach at some point, but they tried everything, man. It's just the color. Change that orange to blue, that orange blue shit. Maybe y'all do better. I'm just saying.
I don't know what New York's problem is, but it was.
You done had every good car. You had good fucking highlight artists. Not artists. I say artists, but you done had good fucking players. Yeah, like Carmelo Anthony. All these people come in, man.
But see, Carmelo had the same problem that 90s basketball teams had. Carmelo's problem was Kobe.
Wow.
Yeah, Carmelo's, all them niggas in that era. Kobe was he was fucking shit up. But I thought the game was decent. It didn't really get good until the last 2 minutes. That's crazy.
So wait a minute, you're talking about
first game of the finals in Oklahoma City. Yes, tonight. Just went out.
And again, I don't stay up to date on all the games and everything, but
I usually don't either, Jay.
OKC been doing good, like maybe 2
They've been smoking everybody. They've been smoking everybody. Right. And they, like I said, they had as big, I think as big as a 12 or 13 point lead on them at one point. And they kept it at around 9 to 10 points the whole game until the last 2 minutes. They chipped. They just Halliburton. I got to give it to him. He was smart. He just kept going and hitting twos. He wasn't buying into shooting threes, and just kept. They stayed in the game. Stayed within 10. Stayed within 11. Stayed within 9. They kept that the whole game. And then number 5, he clutched up. He handled the ball. He got niggas in. He got to the foul line. They cut it short. They got it down to 6. They got it down to 4. And it just went down. Peace, y'all. Sorry to disrupt the argument, but I did feel like I did.
You shit, man. With your fake ass history. You got a hell of a nerve.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Sarge. I mean,
you're
just get on politics. Your president.
So Sarge, so Sarge, at this point, hold on, Jay. Let me land this real quick, because Sarge wanna aim. So Sarge, tell me, because you leveling personal attacks, should I announce I'm gonna hang up the phone if you keep talking to me like this? Should I announce that?
I'm not gonna tell you what the fuck to do, nigga. Do what the fuck you wanna do.
Okay, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. No, I'm gonna do. Okay. You said you gave me permission. Shut the fuck up. You gave me permission, so shut. Okay, listen. You gave me. Listen, white man. You gave me permission, old Peckerwood. So I'm gonna take this liberty that you just passed to me. Just shut up, so I can say what I want to say. You still, to this day, remind me of an old ass foghorn, leghorn nigga. You still remind me of a big white chicken. Pay attention to me, boy. Pay attention to me, boy. I'm talking to you. That's what you sound like all the fucking time. A fucking big motherfucking chicken.
All right. Let's bring it back.
Hey, Tyrone. You do understand that the White House has a taco and TRS has a socko. Peace, y'all.
Hey. Don't get your fantasies up, nigga. I ain't gonna let you suck my dick.
Oh, come on, son. Nobody want to hear all that nasty shit. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Damn. I want to hear that shit.
Well, but look, man. So, as far as history, the way Mama Boy told the story, the way that he got the story from somewhere or whatever, that's just how. that's how history and that's how theories are developed. So we can't be getting mad and all that shit like that. So that's irrelevant. So, but like I was saying, check out HR 3518, and to show you how they're playing the race card. Not black folks, not black people,
white people,
but they are. They're playing the race card. Okay, so we recognize that, you know, and stop faking, stop coon faking, and all that stuff. You know, recognize that because
that's what white America has always done. They are always blatant about their racism, and no one calls them out. And soon as we start talking about racism, you hear people like Sarge say you're always talking about white people, and then they'll try to tamp down, you know, us calling racism out. But they always are blatant about their racism. They're putting it in policies now.
Well, this country is so racist, goddammit. You ain't seen racism till you get your goddamn democracy. Then you don't get an idea of what racism is.
Look, Tyrone, and check this out. See, white folks, the thing about with them, they got mad at us because, see, we told on them. We told. All the history that we know of as black folk, what happened to us, etc., we told on them. And they got upset. They got mad. Like, how we dare them to tell. Yeah, we told. We supposed to tell. So they got mad with us, and this is part of all this that's coming up now. Within the last 5 or 6 years, all this is coming up. You know, a critical race theory and all that dumb stuff. All that's coming because they was angry at us for telling. They called us. They called certain folks woke and all that stupid shit. Okay, what you want to be stupid? Y'all want stupid people. That's what you want. You want dumb people.
Well, did you say that, Joshua? That is actually an agenda. Is that they want America stupid? They want America as stupid as Sarge and ABC and Mr. Solutions. They want them just that dumb because they're doing away with the Department of Education. They're doing away with science. They're doing away with all the stuff that people can learn. They even go so far as getting rid of NOAA, the national weather stuff, because they want America's stupid. They want these people so dumb that they're going to sound like Jabbar when he first got on here tonight and say, we need to believe what the hell Trump says.
We're going to call him Jabari. We're going to call him Jabari. Jabari with the far.
Well, Jabbar just said that tonight. He just said that tonight.
Yeah, but he's the guy that's sitting in the courtroom with Donald Trump when he was going through the trials and all that. He was saying, no, Donald Trump is an innocent man. So when Donald Trump was going to that courthouse, I guarantee Jabari didn't get a seat in the courtroom, but he was outside in the front, and he was out there the way people are screaming for or against Diddy right now in them courthouses. So Jabari, I just want to ask, were you one of those people in the courtroom during the Donald Trump trials? Were you inside or outside? I'm just asking.
It looked like he dropped off or something. I guess he dropped off.
Well, that's something that we could speak about in the next show. But I'm just saying, I think Jabari was one of those guys that was either outside with a picket sign, within or without. So again, whether he was inside or he was outside, I think he was somewhere around, and that's his stance on shit. So Jabari, defend yourself or not.
And you know what? And something else they said too. They were talking about
Django.
They were talking about. They were talking about. They were talking about, whiteness, and during the 1930s and 40s, when white folks was getting these subsidies and all these things, everything was honky dory. There's a book out. There's a white lady that wrote a book about this. She said everything was honky dory for white people. They was getting subsidies. They was getting government handouts and all this shit. The minute they realized that they had maybe shared some of that with the blacks, the so-called black
They were
citizens.
getting, they caught a fit.
They caught a fit. They was like, oh, whoa, wait, we got to give them. Yes, they have to give something too. See, that's the problem.
I think you know what it is too. A lot of these white people need to go back to their history.
Jake. Right? Yeah, and that's another thing.
They got to go to their history, guys.
But they don't want to go to their history because they're hypocrites.
You motherfuckers is immigrants too, motherfuckers, and y'all had to find your way here. I mean, you had the easy way out than anybody else, but let's not forget how they treated your white ass when they were separating Irish from Italian. Okay.
Right. Let me ask you a question.
And they still got a pass. Remember that. They still got a pass.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Was it better for Italians to stay Italian or accept whiteness? What was better for them?
Oh, they went whiteness. Yeah,
they sure did. That's what they did. They said, oh,
all right.
Shit. They said we can't, because Anglo-Saxon whites, they didn't see them as white people at first.
No, it's the same thing with the Irish. The Irish was considered something else, and the Italians.
They did it too. The Irish did it too. They said it's better to go to just be white. They did it too.
Well, let me hold on. I got a legitimate question. And this is serious. Like the Italians and the Irish, if they wasn't considered, okay, so all of them white. So that's just the baseline. All of them white. So was it the European Anglo-Saxon separating themselves from the Irish and the Italian? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, that basically took place. Yeah.
So they wasn't calling them black. They had
a weird racial divide, right? So and they hated the Irish.
Yeah.
The UK hated the Irish, but then they integrated them, and then
was it like
because we all white.
Was it like the European Anglo-Saxon was more eloquent and the other ones were savages? Is that what the division was?
Well,
sort of, kind of, yeah. They said they had a mix. They said they had a mud mixture. So yeah, it basically was that. They had a mud mixture.
Right. You gotta remember too, Tyrone. The Italians were, particularly the Italians in the South, was considered to have black blood because of
Sicilians.
Right. Yeah, because they were called Sicilians.
And so they became their own white people.
Right. So even within their culture in Italy, there was a divide between the Northerners and the Southerners. You see, even that. So, but when the Northerners came to America, they realized that the white Anglo-Saxon didn't like them. So that's why they formed groups like the Mafia and all that. That was to protect them from what they were going through. And it wasn't their main rivalries. It became the Irish.
So now let me ask you about the Jews. Was the Jews supposed to be mixed with something? Because they won't like either.
I never really got quite the understanding.
Because they white as fuck, but they hate them.
Yeah, they're white.
White America hates them, but white America is from somewhere else too. They forget, like, yo, where y'all from? Oh, we white America.
Yeah, but the point is, Tyrone. But the point is what they did. They realized they all accepted whiteness. The Jews were the ones that accepted the whiteness, but they
taking the whiteness from the Jews, from the white people.
Yeah. But they put their religion first.
White people.
And this is why I always say what the Jews did was clever, and what other white folks did, because the Jews had claimed to be the chosen people. So white folks accepted them as being chosen because they were white. Now, if there were some Negroes on the saying they chosen, white folks were like, shit, ain't no damn chosen. You know what I'm saying? So all of it worked hand in hand, and that was to further this thing that we call today.
And when it's convenient, I think it's when it's convenient.
Ideal of white supremacy. You got chosen white people that look white. You got the Irish who became white all of a sudden, and the Italians became white. So they all became white. Because they said, oh, and then they realized that the numbers game, what? It allowed white Anglo-Saxons to add numbers to their population. And that was part of it.
Well, yeah, I get the skin color stuff. I mean, that was an easy choice for them to just assimilate everybody that wasn't black. So I get that part.
Right.
But I was thinking about
Right.
historically. What was the big division if they all had pale skin?
Well, like I told you, in Italy, the division was the black blood.
Yeah.
That was the division right there with them. The Irish had a lot of history with the Irish. Sometimes they called them the Black Irish. I still understand why they said the Black Irish to them.
Well, I know that there was a history. There was a connection between Ireland and Africa a long time ago.
Right.
There was that
long time
connection.
ago. Yeah. Right. Yes, it was. Yeah.
And they treated those people badly when the immigrants was coming over here through Ellis Island. There's a lot of documentaries about that. They used to say they called that. Let me see what you call it. They treated them. They said that you talk about Southern and Eastern European immigrants, Italians, Greeks, Poles, Hungarians, and the Slavs. They kind of looked at them as mud people, and they used to say they weren't as intelligent. So they had their own stuff. It's pretty deep when you go into it.
And it's kind of convenient for all of those groups to just target black people and then make us the enemy. So it's convenient for everybody that way. And even convenient for Sarge to jump on that side. You see how passionate.
Well, when you have somebody to point the finger at to get it off of you, that's what you do. Because a lot of the Asians started doing the same thing. But you have to wonder.
Asians came in, right? When the UK came in, right? There was the first ones, right? If you want to say the first invaders, white people. Then comes the Spaniards. They posted
the British,
pointing the fingers on them.
Well, yeah, speaking of the Spanish or the Hispanic, those motherfuckers going through some shit right now. Donald Trump targeting their ass and they getting deported. Them motherfuckers.
It's a confusion for me. Like it
is. In New York, you know what? In New York City, at one point in time in New York City, most of your Irish were the police, and most of your Irish would work for the fire department. And that was during the 1950s. The 1940s, 1950s. You know what I'm saying? They became the police and they became the fire department. Most Italians were trying to be business owners. They worked in, they tried to be business owners and start their own businesses. But for the most part, for the Irish, that they were police and they were firemen. So that's the field that a lot of the men got into. You see, yeah.
But if you do your DNA testing, that's like so many black people, but still they were still looked as mud, and that's why a lot of black people have a lot of Irish in them.
Yeah, it's Scottish. It's Scottish too. Yeah, because 5% that came up. That came up. It was Scottish. It came up. I said, well, that part don't count. I said, 5%, that don't count, right?
You gotta count it. I have a hefty number. Of Irish and British. I don't have Scottish. Irish, British, and French.
Yeah.
So I don't talk about my family because people start talking about because they light skin and stuff like that. But it is. I'm not as light as them. But yeah, most
getting on that racist shit.
They started. What is your percentage of African are you? You got 80% African.
They got on me. They're like, oh, you're Puerto Rican.
Then you're not black.
Fucking black too.
Well, then I'm not 80% African, so I'm not black. That type of I don't have 80% African DNA, so that makes me I'm not black. That type of foolishness that black people got going on.
Yeah, but it's funny though. I mean, it's the Scottish. I was 5% Scottish. There was some British in there, and that was about it. You know what I'm saying? But the Scottish might come from my grandmother's great my grandmother's great grandmother was white. Her last name was Allen, and that's where the Allen name came from. Because in Virginia, my great grandfather, he insisted on marrying this white woman, and so when they got to the justice of peace, the court told him, "Well, you know she can't take your last name." So he said, "I'll take her last name." So they took the last name Allen, and they replaced Allen with the name Laws, because their last name was Laws. His last name was Laws. It wasn't Allen. So they replaced that with the Allen, and that's where they get the Allen family from. So my grandmother's last name was Rosa May Allen. That was her full name, Rosa May Allen. And she told me that's where Allen came from. It came from her. She said that they had to take her name instead of Laws, because he insisted on marrying this white woman at that time.
He was going to marry her. But it's just good that people what your ancestry is. We know where the French come from my Afro-Caribbean grandfather. So it's just good, and a lot of things matched up that the family had talked about throughout the years. And when I did my DNA, people said, that stuff's not real. Most of it matched up from the things that we were talking, my grandparents, my great aunts, and all of those people. It all matched up. Why? It says we even got a little piece of Asian. And people was like, who in the hell did that? But anyway, somebody was with somebody Asian. So, and not as much Native American, some, but more whiteness. And that is just what it is. And that is the average black person.
I had no Native American.
I have a look.
You gotta accept your roots. You gotta accept your roots.
It is what it is. We used to be saying we was part Native American and this, that. No, everything our family told us that's white. We have some, but it's white. It is what it is. Just accept what you are and accept where you come from. That's the average black person. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not black, so I can't talk about this. It's just ignorant.
But you know the sad thing about But you know the sad thing about that, Lisa? I met people who were very light, and they said that they get more resistance from the black community than anything else. I had a girl I worked with. She worked at the hospital where I worked. She said that one day we were talking. She said she'd have black girls have told her that she wasn't black.
Well, they will tell you that. But see, go ahead. I'm not light skinned. I'm not light skinned though. I'm pecan. My mama and them real light skinned. I'm not light skinned. My mama and them real light skinned. My grandparents all that. I just happen to be pecan from my Afro-Caribbean grandfather. My brother and all them light skinned. I'm not. I'm pecan. But it's the percentage when people say that. If you're not 80% African, you're not black. So I guess I'm just mud.
Right. And she was very light, and she came up in a foster home. So she was going through a lot of confusion. Her foster parents were Puerto Rican. Check that out. And I said, she said,
I know she
am black. Yeah. She was all kind of confused. Yeah, she was all confused. But she said that
Puerto Rican. You said Puerto Rican. They were her foster parents, and she was she was all types of messed up going on.
Yeah. So, and she said that black girls when she was in school, high school, they would say, "Oh, well, you ain't black." She'd be like, "What?" And she actually believed them, I guess, because she ended up getting married. She married a Puerto Rican dude. I said, "Damn!" I said, so she actually believed it. And I told her one day, I said, "Don't let nobody tell you what you are."
Puerto Rican is an off-breed of fucking black, bro. Like
no. But
that's all it is.
Yeah, like we just gotta get it. It's like, oh, well, are Puerto Ricans African American? No, because African Americans are African American. But dude, a Puerto Rican has African roots. Look into the history.
That's
of
the
how
good.
that's it. And the Caribbean and
James,
no, it's not
James.
even you. Listen. It's
That's
not even
not my
you,
argument,
Joshua.
right.
I'm just saying in
I'm
general.
just
It's
saying
not
for
even an
her.
argument.
I'm saying, but for her, I saw the confusion in her
Well,
face. And
if you go, if you
It's an
if you
all
look,
breed. Everything comes
well,
off of Africa, right?
this is what.
Go into it,
No.
brother.
Hear me out. If you take a look, and especially if you go back and look at the slavery way things went for Africans, there's only one place in the world where you don't have mixed breeds, and that's where they turned the black man into eunuchs.
In the
Everywhere
United
else
States
that they
of
took
America,
slaves,
right?
every place. No, I think that's more like what is that? Turkey, where they where they would take the black man and make him a eunuch, and he would fucking be a damn servant to their children and shit for the rest of their life and shit. But that's the only place you see it. Every place else, they brought the slaves. We ran through they damn women.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
So it's funny you say that, Miles. They were talking about the Arab slave trade. That they were saying folks don't know. That this African brother was explaining. He said people don't know the reason why that part of Africa became the way it became. He said, man, they did a lot of castration over there in North Africa. Man, they did a whole lot of that. So a lot of us wasn't mating, having children in those areas like that. These were the ones who were in the area that went into, West Africa and Central Africa. But he was saying that they did a lot of, some Arabs, man, were notorious for castration. They were notorious for that. And so that was something I already knew. That I wrote my little comment. I said, yeah, that's a subject that needs to be talked about more often, because a lot of times we talk about the European slave trade, but we don't talk about the Arab side of the slave trade. See, because their slave trade was brutal.
Yeah, you're right about that. We should talk more about the Arab slave trade.
Right.
We should.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Because it was pretty brutal, and them African kings and stuff was selling off the girls and women and stuff. So we brought this shit on ourselves. We know that. We brought a lot of this on ourselves. But we have to say, if it wasn't for colonialism and the different things that was done, that we allowed to happen, and that our ancestors played a role in, which they did, if we were ruling things like the Caucasians, would we rule any differently?
Yes, we would have. Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think in time, back in time, yes, but now, we done took on a lot of European shit.
Right, but no, I'm saying this, but that's already been proven. When the Moors went into Spain, we didn't go over there and pillage the people and make them speak Arabic and make them speak all these different languages. We didn't do none of that. We let them say Christianity, we let them have their Christianity. We were just occupying, not we, but those Moors were just occupying that area. They didn't do none of that. They didn't do none of that.
But that was the Moors.
Okay.
That was the Moors. We were fighting and tribal and conquering and this and that over there on that continent.
No.
I just think that we have a love affair with the continent from way to the back. We might have been doing the same thing. We don't know that. And the Moors does not prove that, Yahshua.
No. I'm saying, no. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying you're saying you made a statement. You said things have been different. I say yes, because that already been proven. Now, here's my point. We had issues with each other on that continent at times. We had conflict with each other. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying, as far as going to another place and dealing with folks, no, we didn't force anything on nobody. We didn't force anything. Matter of fact, we helped them. That was our part, that we was helping them. We gave them bathhouses, we gave them street lights, we gave them all these type of things. We brought Europe out of the Dark Ages.
Yes, we did.
You see?
We did.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about where we are now. If we had maintained, if we had not allowed a lot of the things and participated in a lot of the things that went on that, in a sense, decimated our continent. And we were able to continue on building and doing all of the things that we were doing throughout, who knows how many thousands of years ago. What would the world look different? Or would there still be wars? Would there still be people? Would there still be different? Would there still be groups this and that, conquering people and the things that goes on now? That how we're ended up being treated, because you got to look at it. This time in history that we're living, it's a blip. It's really a blip in time. It's just like one will rule, one will fall. Another will rule, another will fall. It's just a blip. So I don't think we can actually say we would be doing anything really different. Because you hear about some of the wars that date back so far back, the atrocities and things that they were doing to I call it atrocities to this day. It was different. They looked at it as something different, conquering. We were doing the same murderous old shit to one another over there too.
Well, all right, guys.
Way before the Caucasians showed up. So I'm just saying, we don't know how rule would be under the African. We just really don't know. I would like to know, though. I would like to have seen it.
Yeah, we got to be honest when we have that conversation, because we really don't know. I mean, because you got to look at the way they treat each other now. But anyway, I got to go. So thank you, Elisa, and everybody else that called in. And YouTube, I'm getting ready to shut y'all down. And if y'all want to call in to the conference call.
Q&A session is over.
And,
all participants are unmuted.
Join the conversation. I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay, now maybe I get to make a point now. There's another thing, too, that I think we might want to discuss. Since it hasn't been discussed, and I'd like to bring...